watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a hot, steamy day here in New York City. Temperatures at one point were in the triple digits. The Red Sox are getting ready, and Mark Teixeira, he's going to be in the lineup tonight after getting plunked in the first inning last night. Tim Wakefield will do the honors for the Red Sox, and essentially there's a tie atop the American League East. The Yankees are percentage points ahead of the Boston Red Sox. As tonight, Kia Motors presents the Wednesday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Paul O'Neill and Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. First game of the series, it was all Red Sox. They won that game by a score of 6-4, and it started early. It started often. Freddie Garcia did not have much, and the Red Sox jumped on him.
Wow, again, the first hitter of the game. It didn't take long. Jacoby Ellsbury, split-finger fastball, right center field, home run, 1-0. Adrian Gonzalez, I mean, he's been doing it against everybody. Pure hitter, bad ricochet for Granderson. He ends up at third base. But the one that came up a little bit later after being knocked off the plate, the little back toss caused a lot of problems. We'll see if it causes any problems tonight.
David Ortiz goes yard. Now the Yankees lose the game, and a lot of roster moves as well. Java Chamberlain today was put on the 15-day DL, strained flexor muscle. Hector Noesi was sent down and gave them 6 innings yesterday. Amari Sinead and Jeff Marquez, they are on the Yankee roster. Russell Martin, back problem, not in the lineup. Jorge Posada, he's with his son who's undergoing surgery. He is unavailable tonight. Kim Jones will have more on this later on in the game. Let's take a look now at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. The veteran, Tim Wakefield, goes for the Red Sox 2-1, 4.40. A.J. Burnett for the Yankees 6-3, 3.86. Last time out, Al, A.J. looked very good.
He did, Michael, and I'll tell you, so far through 12 starts, he has been very good. Then look, you know, watch early in this game. This is 7 days rest. He's got a couple extra days with the off days. But in Oakland, typical A.J. struggled a little bit early, but the curveball was very good. As the game went along, he started using that changeup, becoming more of a 3-pitch pitcher. 7 innings, the 5 strikeouts. Watch early for him to be a little strong with the extra day's rest.
All right, so it's going to be A.J. Burnett against Tim Wakefield, two varying styles. Our very own Paul O'Neill actually did very well against Tim Wakefield. He's going to explain to us how to hit a knuckleball next, segment 2, right here on Yes. Everybody, Yankees against the Red Sox momentarily. Paul O'Neill faced Tim Wakefield a lot because Tim Wakefield's 44 years old, and O'Neill did very well. 9 for 24, 2 of the 9 home runs, walked 4 times, struck out 3 times, a robust 375 batting average. Welcome back, everybody. Al Leiter will rejoin us in just a moment. So, Paul, Wakefield's on the mound today, and we thought we'd come to you for the secret. You get this knuckleball, how do you hit it?
Well, I mean, first of all, you have to look for it up in the zone. If you start swinging at the ball, knuckleballs have a tendency to always drop. So if you're swinging at a waist-high knuckleball, chances are that you're not going to do much with it. If you get a ball up early in the count, because he uses different speeds, and usually the slower one he'll use earlier in the count up, that's pitch to hit.
Now, did you ever swing at a pitch low that didn't sink down? I mean, does it sometimes just go side to side?
Yeah, I mean, the knuckleball itself, it's nothing you can really prepare for. It's not like you go out, and a lot of people think you should go out and take batting practice against knuckleballs. I mean, there's no reason to do it because there's no rhyme or reason why the ball moves in certain ways. It can go anywhere. It can actually rise at times, too. So you go up, you have your bat, you try to keep your bat through the zone as long as you can. Darryl Strawberry was very good at hitting the knuckleball because he kept his bat through the zone, hit a lot of home runs off him.
So you gave a lot of advice today to the guys down there?
No, I don't think anybody asked me. So I had a lot to give them, though. That's the thing.
Well, you just gave it to our viewers, and we thank you for that. You know what the deal is. It's the Yankees against the Red Sox. The Red Sox won last night. The Yankees try to even this series. We have lineups, first pitch, baseball, coming up next right here on Yes. By Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. And by Mazda. Zoom. It is a real summer day here in New York City. Hot, sticky, humid, and that's going to be something that A.J. Burnett is going to have to deal with, as well as the Red Sox starting lineup. Take a look at it. It's presented by Avis. And actually made by Terry Francona. Jacoby Ellsbury, the center fielder, leads off, batting second, playing second, Dustin Pedroia. Adrian Gonzalez at first base hits third, cleaning up the third baseman, Kevin Youkilis. David Ortiz will DH, he'll bat fifth, batting sixth, playing left field, Carl Crawford. Marco Scudero at shortstop, he'll bat seventh, batting eighth and playing right field, J.D. Drew. And the veteran catcher, Jason Varitek, will bat ninth.
On the mound, A.J. Burnett, 34 years old, will be making his 13th start, 16th career start against the Red Sox, coming off a nice win out in Oakland, 7 innings, only 2 runs. There you see his ERA, very respectable, 3.86. Look at the hits to innings, 60 hits to 74 2/3. Very good, the 221 batting average against as well. Let's take a look at the G pitcher scout report. Love the Bronx. This year is 5-1. His career at home, he played with the Marlins in Toronto, 64-36. So he likes home cooking. Good last 3 starts. He's 2-0 with a 3.44. I mentioned about his last start against Oakland. And fastball command. I mentioned that during the open, he's got 7 days rest. A guy who's got good velocity. Watch for him early in the game, throwing strikes. He's always key for A.J. Burnett is that fastball curveball combination.
While the two teams are essentially tied, the Yankees percentage points ahead in the American League East. The Yankee defense, why don't we take a look at that? Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. You've got Gardner in left, Granderson in center, and Swisher in right. And in the infield, Nunez plays third, A-Rod's the DH, Jeter at short, Cano at second. Teixeira, surprisingly, is in the lineup at first. Cervelli is behind the plate, and Alan James Burnett is on the mound. Well, the Red Sox are red hot. Since April 16th, they are 32-16, and that's the best record in the major league. So they've made up some ground after going 0-6 and 2-10 to start the season. Those are the numbers on Ellsbury. He started yesterday's game with a home run. And he is ready right now as he digs in. A.J. Burnett is ready as well. And let's do it here in the Bronx. And the first pitch is a strike. They're underway. Ellsbury has a 5-game hitting streak. He's 9 for 24 during that time. You want to keep him off base. He has 22 stolen bases. And he's not kept off base as he singles one up the middle just past Burnett. A leadoff single by Jacoby Ellsbury. We told you how hot it was. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. It's 88 degrees. Feels hotter than that. 49% humidity. The wind is 9 miles per hour. It's hot and humid, mostly sunny. Now, you're an expert at this, Paul. It's not 88 in your mind.
No, it's yeah. That's at the bottom end of it. It's a Bigelow iced tea night. There's no doubt about it. Walking in today, I mean, it hit you as soon as you hit the field. You knew there was heat, but I tell you what, if I was a baseball player still playing, I'd rather play on a night like this than a 30-degree night in April.
There's a pitch to Dustin Pedroia, and that is a strike.
First thing he said, Michael, was, do we have to wear these ties?
He said that about 3 times. But he knows he looks great in a tie, so he fights through it. The 0-1. Fly ball, center field. Granderson drifts back, still back. Boy, that carried, and he'll make the play. For the first out as Ellsbury heads back to first. Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Ball travels on nights like this.
Oh, there's no doubt. You know, hot, humid weather is a hitter's night. There's no doubt about it. The bat feels good. The pine tar is sticky. The ball carries well. You just feel like hitting. Balls are all rubbed up. See them?
These two teams can hit home runs, that's for sure. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. He leads the major leagues with 51 ribbies. Runner goes, the throw to second, goes into center field. So Ellsbury will go to third. Somebody should have stopped that ball, either Jeter or Cano. It kind of snaked through both of them.
Well, it's well noted that, you know, you can run on A.J. Burnett, and I was very surprised that Ellsbury didn't go earlier in the count, or early in. With Gonzalez, you don't want to run, but sure, I mean, you've got to steal bases, and I think you're right, Michael. That ball's got to stay in, keep him off third base.
That ball kept tailing, and that's been a problem for Cervelli, so that's a stolen base and an E2. That's Cervelli's third error of the year. Now, Russell Martin not starting today. Came up with a stiff back in yesterday's game. He is the emergency catcher, though. 365, Adrian Gonzalez, with runners in scoring position. There's Russell. The 2-0. 2-1.
See Gonzalez swinging a ball like that very often, kind of like it was just a roll over, get this guy in from third swing. I mean, he is so comfortable at driving the ball to left field. Usually when you see that sinker away, that ball he tried to pull.
Well, that's the pitch. Watch early. The changeup from A.J. Burnett. Already here, 6 pitches in, he's throwing this changeup. Important pitch, especially in fastball counts.
Pitch outside. Count 3-1. On deck is Kevin Youkilis.
So you see the changeup. His last start 10%, 9, but even just all of those numbers there. This is a pitch that he's eventually going to feel more comfortable. He's talked about it, that he doesn't like to shake off to it. Russell Martin, if he's in there, he puts it down, he'll throw it.
Ground ball up the middle, knocked down by Cano. He makes the play at first. Scoring is Ellsbury, and the Red Sox have a 1-0 lead.
I mean, he's an RBI machine. He knows how to hit. He knows how to put the ball in play. I mean, he got ahead in the count. Always hit hard. Cano does a good job to knock it down. And the thing right there is, you know, he knows he's running. He doesn't panic. Throw the ball away. Knows he's going to have time. It's a bang-bang play at first base. But good play by Robbie.
That's going to bring up Youkilis. Youkilis with a sac fly in the first inning yesterday. And there's a strike. So the throwing error looms large there. Now, you don't know if the at-bat goes the same way, but the runner at third, all you have to do is get the ball on the ground. The Yankees didn't bring the infield in, and that's why the run scored. Again, it could break down differently with the runner at second. You might not pitch the same way. Count 1-1.
Well, aside from Cervelli, that little leak that ended up going toward the second base side, Robinson Cano had to get in a better spot. It almost looked like he was surprised that the ball kicked past him. At least knock it down, keep it in the infield.
You can see the back of AJ's hair already soaked with sweat. It's that sort of night. We saw that with Freddie Garcia yesterday. It looked like he was bobbing for apples in the first inning. His face was just dripping. And 2-1. Count 3-1.
Bobbing for apple. That's been a long time since I bobbed for apple.
Did you ever do it?
You brought that one out of the archives.
Makes you feel young again, right?
Sure does.
You actually bobbed for apple?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It's not as easy as you think, right?
I never bobbed for an apple. Just go to A&P and just buy it. 3-1. And Youkilis walks. IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. And that's going to bring up David Ortiz. Yesterday, Ortiz hit a home run in the 5th inning, dramatically flipped his bat away. Joe Girardi said after the game that he didn't like it. Russell Martin said he didn't like it. And you wonder if there's going to be any kind of retribution. We'll keep a close eye. Yankees put the shift on where Nunez moves to the second base side of the bag, and Jeter is essentially playing third base, but he's at what would be shortstop. There's a strike. This is the inside pitch, and people wonder, is that why Ortiz styled the way he did? I mean, the inside pitch was at the belt. It certainly wasn't anything dangerous. But Big Papi, as with most hitters, doesn't like to be moved around. Anything coming this out?
You know, I'm on a little both sides of it, but I will say this: there are guys that show up hitters or pitchers, and vice versa. And there's an element to style, and David Ortiz has done that. I've seen worse. And if you have a problem with it, which I wouldn't like it, I think it's between you and the pitcher who's done it. It's not flagrant. It's not dirty play, or it's not an opposing staff throwing at your guys where you have to protect your players.
So you think it was Noesi's thing to do?
Michael, I think it's one of those things where there were plenty of guys that hit home runs off me. I didn't like their reaction. And you have an opportunity, hopefully, as the season goes along, to let them know how you feel. It's not like, you know, you have to protect your hitters in a way, the way the game's played out, or there's dirty play in the middle infield or something. You need to protect your guys.
1-2, way outside.
And he's been doing that. Was he at 300-400 home runs? I've seen much worse. I played Ricky Henderson. He was as good as anybody showing up.
Yeah, he had a whole routine when he went in home run, right?
Well, Bonds also was a styler.
He would spin around.
Yeah.
Manny Ramirez.
David with 363 home runs. I think another reason why David gets away with it is because he's so well liked. I mean, he really is well liked by everybody. You see him behind the batting cage all games. He's back slapping and laughing with people. I think he's just loved by other players. And he's hurt the Yankees for a long time, though. Almost a full season against them. 306-33. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Foul ball. I remember, Paul, when you would hit home run, I always noted this. You put your head down and run. I was talking to Kurt Schilling today on my radio show. He said, you know, you would hope that a lot of hitters would just act like they've been there before. He said, but, you know, when I was on the Red Sox, Manny and David did it all the time.
Right. It became popular with Sports Center and all these things, and the kids have picked up on it. I mean, it's continued in the game where it wasn't. It was immediately taken care of in the old days. But it is a part of the game, and whether you like it or don't, it's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. Pitchers are going to pump their fist. I mean, it's the emotion of the game from a pitcher standpoint where it's kind of premeditated from the hitters. That's the only thing that kind of bothers me.
That's a good point. When a pitcher does it, he's pumped up. Like what Papelbon did yesterday, that's what he does. Job has done it as well. When you hit a home run like that, and he's been hot of late, so he feels good about things. He's thinking about what.
Yeah, but, and you said it, Paul. Nobody likes it. As you saying that about a pitcher, I thought of Urbina.
Yeah.
I mean, the act that he did for Valverde with Detroit. I mean, you know, there's, you know, I don't know how you. It's personality.
This will be the 22nd pitch for A.J. Burnett. Runner at first base. Red Sox have a run here in the top of the first inning. Runner goes. That one is drilled deep to right field. Going back, Swisher looking up. See ya. Two-run home run for David Ortiz, and it's 3-0 Red Sox.
Well, again, the pitch before was supposed to be inside, and it kind of went back over the middle of the plate, so it never got Ortiz off the plate, which made this pitch hittable. You know, you said it, Michael. He's kind of had a resurgence. He's having a great year average-wise. He's starting to hit home runs. He's very dangerous when he comes into Yankee Stadium.
Well, that home run now gives him an 8-game hitting streak, his 15th home run of the year.
Well, there it is. That ball's leaking out over the similar pitch that he hit last night against Noesi, except this ball being middle. We talk about insult to injury.
There's a ground ball to second. They'll get Crawford. But for the second night in a row, the Yankees are staring at a 3-0 lead before they even come to the plate. Not as much styling this time for David Ortiz, but the result the same. A 2-run home run, 3 runs for the Red Sox. Yankees coming back. Come up to the plate against Tim Wakefield. The Yankee starting lineup presented by Bank of America. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter leads off. Then it's Curtis Granderson in center. Mark Teixeira is at first. Alex Rodriguez cleans up. He's the DH. Robinson Cano at second. Nick Swisher's in right. Brett Gardner bats seventh. He'll play left. Eduardo Nunez will play third base and bat eighth. Batting ninth, the catcher, Francisco Cervelli.
On the mound, Tim Wakefield, 44 years old. He'll be 45 in August. He's got 14 games, 5 of them as starters. Respectable ERA. He's been around a long time. He's got a big history with this Yankee ball club. Let's take a look at the G pitcher scatter report. Knuckleball or strike throw? Question mark. Leads American League in strikes. Ball, 69%. A little unusual for a guy to throw a knuckleball. Not sure which way it's going to go. All-time Red Sox pitcher. I mean, he's first in starts and innings, third in wins. And here, the Jeter matchup. Of all the players he's faced, 31 hits he's given up to Derek Jeter, the most Derek's hit against any pitcher. In that, he's 31 for 108 lifetime out of his 2,988 hits for Derek.
But of late, Derek 0 for his last 9, 1 for his last 14 against Wakefield. That one was skied to center field. So now that'll be 1 for 15 as Jeter is retired. Derek picked up 2 hits yesterday. He is 12 away from 3,000.
Must be weird to go out there knowing, you've got a pitch that you have to throw and it's very hard to control. Even, it could be 3-2 bases loaded. You have to stick with the knuckleball. Very easy to run off. As an opposing player, you know that even if you're not a base stealer, you're going to take chances to run off this guy. And again, he's tough early in the count, throws a softer knuckleball, and then he throws a harder one later in the count, which actually moves less, but it's harder to hit.
Granderson flies out to Crawford. This is the knuckleball in yes mode.
Wow. Ideally, the least amount of rotation. Less than one full rotation by the time it gets to the barrel of the bat.
No, I know that wind can really affect a knuckleball. I don't know about hot humid, if that's his ideal condition, but I know windy nights, knuckleballs are horrible.
Humidity's good for a knuckleball, and I say that because I had Charlie Huff as a pitching coach, and he had several years down in Texas, and the fact that there is heavy air is good.
That one is sky to right center. Ellsbury makes the play. So Teixeira, after getting hit yesterday in the lineup, but he flies out. Tim Wakefield has an 8-pitch, 1-2-3 inning. It's 3-0 Red Sox. It's been a busy pregame around the Yankees, and who better to sum it all up than our very own Kimberly Jones, who has braved the hot weather and is downstairs right near the Red Sox dugout. Kim, let's start off with Jabba. He goes on the DL today, a flexor tendon. When did this start? How serious is this?
Well, he is on the 15-day DL, Michael, I can get it out, with a strained forearm muscle. A strained flexor muscle in the forearm. I'll get it there, I promise. Anyway, it's 15 days. Jabba says for 10 to 14, he anticipates resting, followed by a throwing program. He says he's not sure when it started, but 7 to 10 days ago or so, he began to get accelerated treatment on it. If you look back to the middle of May, there was a 5-day period where he pitched 4 games, 3 in a row at one point. So you can speculate all you want, but Jabba himself says he's not sure. But on the DL, and that means there's ascension in the bullpen for someone like David Robertson, and an imperativeness that A.J. Burnett give the Yankees a good start tonight, as that bullpen's in a little bit of a state of flux.
So Hector Noesi was sent down. Sanit and Marquez have been brought up. Now, there's a couple of questions. If Jabba's been receiving treatment for 7 to 10 days, then the natural question is, we connect the dots, why was he allowed to pitch 35 pitches over the weekend against the Angels?
That was his outing on Sunday, his longest since he's been sent back to the bullpen as a full-time reliever. And I did ask Joe Girardi about that today, Michael. He said simply he'd been doing well, he'd been performing well, so we thought he was okay, even though Joe did acknowledge that elbow's been receiving treatment for a number of weeks.
All right, so we know as the count goes to 3-2 on Scudero, that Robertson's going to pitch the 8th inning. That's the natural ascension. But my concern would be, well, who's pitching the 7th inning? So let me ask you, who's pitching the 7th inning?
Well, that's where you'll see a Luis Ayala, who Joe has said he has increased confidence in, move up in terms of the pecking order. Boone Logan remains important. He's the only lefty there. Even with the 2 righty relievers being added today, he remains the only lefty. So you're going to see some guys in some new situations and, you know, perhaps more pressure-packed situations, because that's only natural. Jabba did very, very well in that 8th inning. In his last 8 appearances, he had not allowed a run.
Kim, I'm curious because I haven't pitched.
Slow roller left side, and Nunez cannot make the play, so an infield single for Scudero.
When Jabba told you, and I get the whole treatment thing because I've had it, and you're still able to perform, was there any feeling in his answers to you that because of the workload potentially could have hurt? Or was it just treatment to just keep you staying fresh or the best you could feel each and every night? Because I know these relievers don't feel 100% every night.
Yeah, Al, today's news certainly surprised me. I think it probably surprised Jabba. He said the area had been tender, but when he went for that MRI this morning, I'm not so sure he thought he'd end up on the DL by day's end. But Jabba Chamberlain did say Sunday he did not have his best stuff. When I talked to him about that on camera and then later off camera for just a minute or two, he kind of attributed it to the fact that on the road trip, the Yankees starting pitching was so great he didn't have regular work. So on Sunday, he scuffled through. He got through the outing. It was an inning and 2/3. But, you know, who knows if there's a cause and effect, but he did mention that on Sunday he didn't have his best stuff.
Scudero's at first. J.D. Drew with a 1-0 count. Scudero goes. The throw again goes into the outfield. And Scudero will go to third. That throw keeps tailing from Cervelli. I don't know how he's throwing it, but it tails away from second base, and neither one could actually stop it, either Jeter or Cano.
Well, you know what? Get on the side of the baseball. It's like a pitcher. This ball is like a running fastball or a sinker. See this ball running towards second base. Cano not being there again, I don't know if he would have been able to knock that down or not. It's so quick. Obviously, the second baseman backing up the throw, but that ball is leaking a lot towards second base. That wasn't even close.
Same thing happened in the first inning. Second error, fourth of the season for Cervelli, which leads me to my next question, Kim. What's the deal with Russell Martin? Why is he not in there?
Good question, Michael. We asked it of Joe Girardi as well. His back locked up last night after the game, according to Girardi. He said that Martin's been receiving treatment. He did say in an emergency he thought Russell Martin could catch today.
J.D. Drew hammers one into center field. Diving or lunging is Granderson. He's going to try to make the throw home, but Scudero will score. Nice play by Granderson to keep that from falling in. A sac fly for J.D. Drew, and it's now 4-0 Red Sox. That ball kept slicing away from Granderson, but he stayed with it, made the play.
Yeah, again, as an outfitter, not the ideal position to throw, but he actually makes this pretty close. Good play. But again, I mean, the Red Sox look so comfortable at playing here in Yankee Stadium. I mean, they're getting guys over, they're stealing bases, they're getting guys in, and it's up to A.J. Burnett right now to try to shut these guys down and give this offense a chance to get started against Tim Wakefield.
Here is Jason Varitek, and there's a strike. Let's talk about Teixeira. A lot of people thought after he got hit in the first inning yesterday, Kim, that he would be out for a couple of days, but here he is in the starting lineup today.
Yeah, even Joe Girardi mentioned it's a pleasant surprise that Mark Teixeira recovered so quickly. They exchanged text messages literally this morning. Teixeira sending Joe a text saying, "I'm fine, I'm good to go," so he's in the lineup.
Now Jorge Posada is not here, and everybody here at Yes sends out our best wishes to Jorge III, who underwent another surgery today as they try to deal with the craniosynostosis he's had since birth. So Jorge is actually with his son, Jorge III. Pitch to Varitek. He scoops that the other way. Giving chase is Gardner, and he'll make the play in foul territory for the second out. Finally, Hector Noesi was the victim of what happens with young pitchers that are long relievers. He pitched 6 innings and he got sent down because he's no use to the team for the next 2 or 3 days. But you had a chance to talk to him. You also asked him about all of the hubbub surrounding David Ortiz.
I did, and Noesi has done, in Joe Girardi's estimation, an outstanding job. However, Joe said they wouldn't have him for 4 days. Hector understood that. He said, "I feel like and I truly believe I'll be back soon." So he knows he's done well. I did ask him about Ortiz and the bat flip. He said, "I didn't even see it. I was watching the ball." I asked him his impressions of it. He simply didn't have any. He said, "I think everyone's a good person," and that includes David Ortiz. He sort of indicated to me he harbors absolutely no resentment. He seems like a gentle soul when you talk to him, Michael, and now he's headed to Scranton, and his concern was pitching well and getting back up here. He says he's not thinking twice about the Ortiz situation.
And that one has popped up. Thanks a lot, Kim, as that ball will settle into the glove of Mark Teixeira, and the Red Sox have a 4-0 lead. They score one hit, 1 error, nobody left. 3,000 hits on this homestand. Your choices are 1 yes, 2 no. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. All right, you're voting, Paul. What are you doing? 1 or 2? Is he going to get it?
I'm saying yes, because I'm hoping he does, because Al and I are doing the games next week, right?
Yeah, we are.
Alex Rodriguez swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Let's check the Red Sox defense out. It's brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Crawford, Ellsbury, and Drew left to right. Infield, Youkilis, Scudero, Pedroia, and Gonzalez third to first. Varitek behind the plate. Wakefield on the mound. Paul, I would think the last thing that you'd want against a knuckleballer is to be in a game where you have a deficit, because your aggressiveness is probably going to play against you.
Yeah, but you also think that, I mean, Tim Wakefield, if you look at his career, is not a guy that is going to dominate you to the point of shutting you down, shutting you out. And you are going to have opportunities with men on base to steal bases, and those are the things that kind of take you away when you get behind. But I think in this day and age, when you see guys running in weird counts, that you have to continue to do that to pick up runs.
Count 1-0 on Cano. Now Varitek is behind the plate, and he usually doesn't catch Wakefield very often. I was behind the plate because Saltalamacchia was ill all day. They actually sent him to the hospital. He had a stomach ailment. And when Varitek was the everyday catcher and Wakefield was in the regular rotation, he didn't catch Wakefield.
Well, I asked Jason about that. He said the last time he caught him was a few weeks ago, because Wakefield's been out of the bullpen.
Line foul.
And didn't seem any concern with it at all. He uses a first baseman's glove.
I was going to say, it's a completely different glove.
Now the glove, well, it's first baseman's mitt. Softer, so a lot of times a knuckleball catcher's mitt would be a little bit wider, like a softball first baseman's glove, but still a catcher's mitt's configuration. That is a first baseman's mitt.
Hammered foul.
The only thing I would think, obviously Paul being the great hitter, would be why it would be even a little more difficult because of the aggressiveness of hitters having to get after a knuckleball. If you go down with a big deficit, I think a guy like Wakefield can mess around with his knuckleball.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a strike knuckleball, which, obviously you have to get good counts, but change speeds on it and maybe even turn his hand, move the ball around.
Now, Paul, you had success against Wakefield, and we dug back. You wore black and white, but we put color to him.
It's amazing that guy's still pitching out there. That was the only fastball I ever saw for him. Can we see that again? He does throw a fastball, and I told you, if you look for it, once in a while you'll get it. That was a fastball from Tim Wakefield. Everybody says, why do you look for a fastball? Because you might get it from a knuckleball pitcher. That was the only fastball I ever saw from him in my whole career.
It was the only one he threw.
Yeah, he didn't throw very often.
Pitch to Swisher is a strike. Here's a strikeout against Cano.
You see that ball rise, and then it's just gonna. As a hitter, you it's not like you aim the bat. Obviously, you see it, you kind of track it, but you don't know exactly. On a curveball, you follow the seams. On a slider, you follow the seams, and you track the ball. You're so used to seeing. But with a knuckleball, you see the seams, and you see it kind of wobbling, and you don't know where it's going. That's what makes it tough to hit.
Squibb toward third base, and Youkilis can't handle it. It's a base hit for Swisher.
Again, every once in a while you wait so long, and you'll see that you just kind of get in between. You get jammed. You have some funky swings against knuckleball guys. And the funniest thing is, after the game, you're driving home and you're like, how am I feeling at the plate? You really don't know after you're facing Wakefield how you feel at the plate, because it's not your normal at bat.
Wakefield's so valuable for the Red Sox. He hangs in the bullpen. Then when something happens with one of the starters, they just plug him in. Kind of ageless. You don't have to be very young to throw a knuckleball as long as he could field his position. with some competency, which he does. He's a good athlete, and he just keeps moving along. He takes whatever role he has.
Only knuckleball in the big leagues?
No, R.A. Dickey of the Mets.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I know Sparks is gone.
Necro's gone.
Yeah, Necro's, he's been gone.
That one gets past Varitek, and Swisher will go to second. Varitek did not catch Wakefield at all in 09 and 10. It's the 5th time he's caught him this year.
Talking about having his hand off to the side. You see this ball? This is curving. There's like a slider. Keep boring in on Gardner. Just can't get to it. Varitek. A wild pitch.
These two starters are the active career leaders in wild pitches. Tim Wakefield and A.J. Burnett.
You know, another important thing if you're on second base is you know, anything in the dirt, anything is to get to third base, because you know, it's a big pressure on that catcher with a guy on third base. Anytime you have an opportunity to steal third or take that extra base on a base hit, you know, Tim Wakefield is not easy to catch, especially with a man on third base.
.67 miles an hour, and last night Josh Bard was on the mound and he threw 100 miles an hour.
You know, you mentioned about R.A. Dickey. R.A. Dickey will throw a knuckleball in the low 80s, high 70s. I mean, he throws it hard.
I thought those were harder to hit, actually, because I mean, it's much heavier. You know how that knuckleball, the 60s, it's kind of a light pitch. Well, you talk about a heavy sinker. Well, that knuckleball, when you're throwing it at, you know, that hard, it becomes, you know, like a shot put when you hit it.
There was a fastball right there, Paul. He's thrown this year 5% of his pitches, a little over 5% fastballs. There's one tonight, up in the zone.
You know, the key to Wakefield, when he'll start you off every once in a while with a big slow curveball, or when he tries to sneak a fastball by somebody, they have to be strikes. I mean, if you're only going to show a pitch, you know, 5% of the time, you have to be automatic at throwing strikes.
Eduardo Nunez takes a strike. Nunez playing third tonight. Wakefield essentially replacing Daisuke Matsuzaka in the Red Sox rotation. Matsuzaka is going to undergo Tommy John surgery. There's a ground ball to third. Euclid goes the short way. He'll get Gardner, and that will do it here in the second. No runs a hit, and 2 men left on base. We play 2. It's 4-0 Sox. By Johnny Walker. Paul was there for this one. 1991 ALCS Game 1. Bernie Williams hits a walk-off home run in the 10th inning to beat the Red Sox 4-3. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees.
Do you remember?
Good old. Do I remember?
Lincoln scoreboard 4-0. Red Sox over the Yankees. Let me ask you a question, Paul, and you can eliminate yourself from the equation. That's not fair to put you on the spot. As Pedroia hits one deep to center field, drifting back is Granderson, who will make the play on the warning track for the first out. On those great Yankee teams, the 4 championship teams you played on, who would you say was the guy that you would want up in the big situation that you felt was going to get the hit?
Well, I think there's really 2 parts to that question, because late in the game, if you needed a home run or something, Bernie was very good at that. He had a few walk-offs. But, you know, Derek has had so many big hits because he could use the whole field. So, you know, if you needed a base hit, I would say Derek Jeter. If you needed a home run late in the game because Bernie was a switch hitter and he matched up well against everybody, and he hit some big home runs. So.
All right, Al, you faced that team in the 2000 series. Who was the one guy you didn't want up in a big spot?
He's playing short tonight. For me, Derek was a tough matchup. I had a tough time when he was right. My pitch just put right into the barrel of the bat, going right center field. I wasn't very good away, trying to come in. Bernie was tough. Paulie, even though lefty on lefty.
Yeah, right. That's because I'm sitting behind him.
Yeah, he just that was such a crumb that he threw you.
He kept just looking over there to see what I was at. He needed an out. He just walked the bases loaded to get me up there.
Pitch outside, 2-1. That was gratuitous, Al. That was he knew it too. It makes him feel cheap right now. You designed the graphic last night how you owned him, and now you're throwing that here.
Come on, I didn't do that.
The 2-1. 2-2.
I would say this, facing that lineup for a few years, very good. While the
this is what Al put together yesterday.
Yeah, he really feared me, didn't he?
Come on,
unbelievable.
Didn't. But I remember every at bat. Truthfully, whoever was up at bat, it was a battle. It was a battle within the battle to get just even through 5-6 innings as a starter. They were not easy outs.
2-2.
The whole waiting it out, make you throw strikes. Derek could jump on the first pitch or two bat. I think Knobloch was good for jumping on the first pitch.
That was some pretty special team. Up and down the line, there are guys that could hurt you.
The good old days, right? But they seem that way, at least.
Strike 3 against Gonzalez. We're going to dig into the archives with a look back. Here's Al Leiter.
Nervous wreck, wasn't he?
This is going to be a home run.
Home run, ain't it?
Crushed that.
Oh, that was in the World Series, too. There we go. Yeah.
Cutter.
Throw me a strike. That ball's off the ball.
That was a strike.
What was that? Cheating?
That's cheating. Yeah.
Pitch to Youkilis is a strike. Now, when you looked out at the mound, Paul, and Al was all twitchy out there, did you just dislike him?
Like, what's wrong with this guy? This guy, you know.
But it was by design. I wanted them to think that. But I think it was a little quirky.
Also, it was
I
an
almost
act.
expect it in the first inning. It was kind of like his scouting report yesterday. That just like wham right in your face. But then, like the 7th inning, it's the same guy out there. It's like, well, come on, you got to run out of energy here soon.
The 0-2 to Youkilis. Blocked there by Cervelli. They're going to check, and the first base umpire, Hunter Reynolds, said that he did not go.
Wow. Looking at that again, no? The intent to swing the bat. Wow, that's a no? What do you got, Paul? Hitter?
I'm saying if he hits that ball, it's going in the on-deck circle, so it wouldn't have put it in play. So I'm saying ball.
No swing, all right.
1-2.
The amazing thing to me when you talk about Kevin Youkilis hitting is, I mean, he's a great hitter. He loves to hit with 2 strikes. He works the count. He works his head before he puts his helmet back on. He's got it all going. But the way his hands are on the bat before, but he gets in a hitting position, but a lot of things go on in his setup before the pitch even comes. And it's not like you have a lot of time as a hitter. You know, once that pitcher goes into his windup. Oh, we got those feet there. We got a hand on, not even on the bat. I might just hit that. All of a sudden he gets in the hitting zone and didn't get ready there.
Strong third inning for A.J. Burnett as the Red Sox go down in order 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the third, 4-0 Boston. Brought to you by Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. One more game against the Red Sox tomorrow on My 9. Then a 4-game set against the Indians Friday night, Saturday and Sunday afternoon, and then Monday night all on Yes. And then 3 games against Texas, 7:05 on My 9, 7:05 on Yes, 1:05 on Yes. That'll be Thursday, and then the Yankees go for interleague play against the Cubs at Wrigley.
Got all those games, Michael?
All of them except for Saturday and Sunday in Chicago, which is Fox and ESPN.
Talking about this homestand.
Yeah. Well, so do you.
Just took off a couple of weeks.
Hello, Pop Kettle here.
Yeah, I just want to know, but do you expect me to?
That one's driven deep to right field off the bat of Cervelli, and Drew can't get there. Cervelli will go to second with a double. Boy, the ball's really carrying tonight.
It is. J.J. Drew, as many struggles he's had at the plate, he's a very good outfielder. Gets great jumps on the baseball. And here Cervelli gets a ball, and we talked about it early in the broadcast. Knuckleballs are better to hit up in the zone. Just kind of clanked off the heel of his glove, got there, just didn't make the play. But I tell you what was really amazing to me is how easy it looks kind of in slow motion on the, you just don't have that much time when you're running. The ball's moving, it becomes, it's a quick reaction. He got a good jump on it, just didn't hit his pocket.
Here's Derek Jeter. There's a strike.
And ball up in the zone. All right, I got a great jump on the ball. I'm going back. Now the ball starts curving a little bit. I jump, and I feel bad because I didn't catch it, but it's a tough play.
That one is low.
I was going to ask you, Michael, with this big vacation, I'm sure your wife had plenty of stuff for you to do. A lot of jobs.
No. I still did my radio show, and she still worked.
I figured you'd have your toolbox out with all the things that needed to be done around the house.
Yeah, that's me. I think Jody knows she didn't marry Tim Allen.
Is that right?
Yeah. The 1-1. Fouled away. I'm a little concerned about you, Paul. You're doing this whole homestand. This is the most games you've ever done in a row.
I know.
What's wrong?
Well, we dropped off my son at college. We got a little break here now, and
you're doing some games.
And in New York.
And you're paying for college.
Yeah.
A 1-2.
I haven't been through this out, but I mean, you know, we drop my son off, we unpack him, we get here. I miss Yogi's golf tournament. I feel horrible about it, but you know, what do you got to do? You got to do it. Neville cries from South Carolina to New York. You know, just got, you know, and people are looking at you like, you know, what'd you say to her, or did you bump her? I mean, you know, you feel bad, but
that's like 12, 14 hours of crying. It's a lot of crying.
No, we took a flight. We didn't walk. But still, it makes you feel bad. But like I said, people are giving you the eye, like you said something rude to her, so they don't know the story behind it. You know, it is tough.
She could have gotten dehydrated crying all that time.
It is tough dropping your kids off. I mean,
why'd you drop your kid off? It's the start of summer.
It's the start of basketball. They told him to be there. He plays some hoops. I mean, what are you going to say? I'm not coming.
The 2-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said Wendelstedt.
I agree with it. What do you think?
No, I think Euclid was further. Wait. Watching Veritek. He's off to the side. He's kind of catty-cornered to the plate.
He's got that other hand going to any way to block that ball now. I mean, it's going to be a long night for him anytime there's runners on base.
Swing and a miss. So Jeter down on strikes. That ball obviously out of the strike zone, but when he starts to swing, it's not.
Nasty, Michael. This ball looks middle. Watch this here. This is a great shot. It just keeps cutting away. Right about there. He's got to commit. This ball is...
Wow. Took a left-hand turn.
So it's knuckle, no rotation, and then down and away. Boy, that's tough.
I really don't. Most things on TV, you get a true feel of, you know, what I don't think you get a true feel of the movement on a knuckleball by watching it on a television screen. Because when you're up there, that thing can corkscrew, can just go down, can go up. I mean, it can go anywhere. And the movement is not subtle. It's quick and it's fast, and there's a lot of it.
Count 1-1.
And, you know, everybody said, well, why doesn't everybody throw a knuckleball in? Because it's very hard to control. And it's very hard to have movement on all of them, because if you play catch with a guy who's got a great knuckleball, which...
That one's grounded right side. Grabbed there by Gonzalez. Flips to Wakefield for the second out. Moving to third is Cervelli.
Which a lot of guys out, you know, a lot of the fielders before games, you know, you throw knuckleballs at each other, and every once in a while they'll throw great knuckleballs. But, you know, it might be 1 out of 5 or, you know, 2 out of 8. And the bad ones become home runs if you're a knuckleball pitcher.
They're scary to catch. I hear you. This is great, this super slow-mo we have. The yes-mo.
Again, you see the barrel of that bat. We talked about it going through the zone and stand level. That barrel came to that ball and was on an upswing. And that's why, you know, guys that kind of have slight uppercuts and things like that have a little trouble with knuckleballs because their bat does not stay through the zone as long.
Watch here, see how Wakefield and Veritek handle Cervelli at third base.
Kind of amazed the way he looked when he got hit in the first inning that Teixeira is in the lineup today. But he said when he left the ballpark yesterday, limping, that he thought he could play, and they did a lot of treatment on him, and here he is. He got hit on the right knee by John Lester. And he's back in the lineup today, and he's batting right-handed against the knuckleballer.
That was... We talk about to keep the barrel of the bat through the zone, and you'll watch just the glimpse of the barrel come through the bat. It's to the ball and up. And anytime you don't stay through that ball on a level plane with a knuckleball, you're going to have some problem with it. I tell you, Mark Teixeira, he's in the lineup, but I tell you what, I watched him warm up. I was watching him run. That knee is going to hurt for a while. That's not something, I mean, he's back in the lineup. That's not something that's going to go away overnight.
You know, we talked about Bernie earlier. Bernie would bat same side against a knuckleballer as well. He'd go from the right side. That one's fouled back.
Jorge tried that too. Jorge had all kinds of trouble. Hated facing Tim Wakefield. He used to scream and yell. And he had a few games that, you know, he did okay, but he just hated facing that knuckleball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that one's popped up right field. So the leadoff double is wasted. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left. Coming up in the top of the fourth inning, A.J. Burnett against David Ortiz. Round 2. The first round, a 2-run home run. How does he do the second time around? Stick around to find out. Wakefield is 44 years, 310 days old. Since 1952, only 4 pitchers as old as Wakefield started against the Yankees. Who are they? We're going to find out in the bottom of the fourth inning as David Ortiz digs in. Ortiz hit a 2-run home run in the first inning. The pitch is outside. Now, Kim Jones spoke to Ortiz today about everything that's going on, about how he flipped the bat yesterday. He said, I don't understand why it's a big deal. I'm a home run hitter. I flipped my bat, and I'm going to hit a home run again tonight.
Well, I mean, that's his personality. I don't know if he's calling a shot like Babe Ruth, but you know, I think as a hitter, I mean, he believes he's swinging for it. It's not like he's trying to hit a single to left field, but he probably said that jokingly, thinking, but you know, when it holds true, then it looks like a great story, right?
I guess so. Well, any thought that the Yankees might move him off the plate, certainly by the boards. They didn't do it in the first inning and haven't come close this inning.
See, I'll tell you, I was just going to say that, Michael. Forget about what happened yesterday and flipping the bat. Now with this home run, make him feel uncomfortable. You have a good hitter who's feeling pretty good, and apparently he's feeling real good. He called it up with Kim Jones, that he feels that good, he's going to hit another home run. Move his feet. You got a big hack. I'm not saying hit guys. Make people in the box feel a little uncomfortable, especially the guys that are feeling good about themselves.
Well, let me ask you something, though, because his first time up, there were 2 inside pitches, targets, and both of them ran back out over the plate. So as a pitcher, do you think, hey, I can't get that ball, I'm tailing it too much, and so you stay away from it and maybe go to a slider down and in or something?
The 2-2.
Well, you know what? Good point. And what I would do, if I knew going into the scout report here, A.J. Burnett, normally 4-seam on top of the baseball, not around on the side, get a little leak, as you just mentioned, trying to go inside. Maybe before the at-bat, you come out, you get Cervelli there, and just pound the inside part of the plate with your true straight fastball, the 4-seamer, that stays inside. Because it's a pitch you need. You can't eliminate it. Now you end up you fastball away, leak away, fastball away, and then 3-2 curveball. That's respect right there.
Those were all breaking balls that he came in with. I don't know that And I don't know if, from the pitcher standpoint, that you just don't think that you can get that fastball in on his hands, because both times you tried the first at bat, they ended out over the middle of the plate.
Now, let's toss away the bat toss by Ortiz. 2 Yankees got hit in the first inning yesterday. Now, they obviously weren't thrown out on purpose, but you played in the National League, Al, for a long part of your career. Tony La Russa says, hey, it's 2 for 1. I don't care if you did it on purpose. You have to pitch with more style and control. I don't want my guys getting hit. 1 guy gets hit, 2 of your guys get hit. I mean, you played against the Cardinals. That's what they did.
Well, Paul and I were talking about that before the game, about a command issue for a pitcher. And if we watched last night, we talked about it. Lester, didn't have a good feel with that cutter. Did hit Martin, did hit Teixeira. Started throwing a couple little two-seamers away, and it actually helped him regain that release point for a pitch that he uses so often in that cut fastball. It was tying up the Yankee hitters last night.
Yeah, I don't know that if you come back the next day, that's when you get problems.
Pass to diving Teixeira into right field, as Ortiz will move to second, a base hit for Crawford.
Again, Crawford had pulled the first time up, and again, with a man on first base, you got a bigger hole as a left-handed hitter. Tex gave it a good effort. Couldn't draw level.
But don't you think that La Russa's hard line on that plays in his team's favor? Let's say you're a guy who has to pitch inside. Well, you know that if you let one go by accident, 2 of your guys are going to get plumped, maybe a star. So you might throw it with some tentativeness and not throw it the right way, and it leaks back over. Maybe it's in the pitcher's mind.
You know what, Michael, and I hear what you're saying. I guess if that's the way it operates for Tony, and obviously it's worked, he's been a great manager. I never thought that pitching against the Cardinals. I don't know how many Cardinals I hit, where I thought, boy, I better not come inside here, because if I hit one of their guys, my guy's going down.
I think it's more on the line of who's pitching. You know, if Clemens is on the mound in Boston and a couple of their guys are getting hit, somebody's. It had nothing to do with the manager. I never thought of the manager, but there were certain pitchers that would. And I played with Rob Dibble and Norm Charlton in Cincinnati. I mean, it's almost like they had a little paper in their head and they made a check mark every time something like that happened. But you know, it gets so overblown now that it becomes even bigger part of the game. People came to the ballpark talking about that today because Mike was talking about it on the radio. That's the way the game is now, and it's you know, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you know, you still have to go out here as the Yankees and figure out how to beat the Boston Red Sox in Yankee Stadium.
Now, I appreciate you listening to my show on 1050 ESPN from 3 to 7 every day, but I didn't start it.
I was flipping through the channels. It just has happened that we had this break. I thought I had a good tune on, and next thing you know, you were talking.
Okay, now, I'm glad you were listening, but Joe Girardi said it after the game. I didn't like what David Ortiz did. I didn't start it. Joe Girardi said it.
Well, manager of the Yankees, protecting his guy.
Russell Martin said, I didn't like it.
You know, if Varitek said it from the other side, if Robbie Cano went deep and flipped his bat, he probably would say, I didn't like it either. But that doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to retaliate for something that happened.
It's interesting, though, because David told Kim, I'm a home run hitter, I flipped the bat. You looked at his home run in the first inning, he didn't flip the bat. He flipped the bat because he got moved back by Noesi. He didn't flip the bat in the first inning.
See what he's doing? Yeah, he's getting fired up over here. Yeah.
He got us.
First and second, nobody out. Scudero at the plate, the 1-2. Foul back. Now, Boston, as a staff, has hit more batters than any team in baseball, and it's not even close. Boston's hit 36 batters, and the number 2 team is the Mets, who've hit 28.
Well, Lester's shown that he comes inside. Beckett's not afraid. You got a couple guys right there.
The 1-2. Count 2-2.
We're going off here on all this stuff here. You just got to realize, I mean, here's another big inning. You got 2 guys on, nobody out. You know, if this inning blows up, the Yankees are in trouble. And, you know, this is a big opportunity for A.J. Burnett to try to get out of an inning and keep these guys in the game. Sooner or later, Wakefield's going to give up some runs. And you got to know that as a pitcher.
66 pitches for Burnett, and he deals. And a foul ball to stay alive.
Yeah, I'm right with you, Paul. I mean, look at yesterday. Freddie Garcia struggled first inning, gave up 3 runs. The Yankees were down 4-1, and really the backbreaker was that 2-run homer in the 5th off the Noesi. The Yankees did come back and get 2. And you're down 6-1. It's just so much more difficult.
Ground ball and grabbed there by Cano. He has one play. He makes it at first. Probably saved a run. I'm not sure that Ortiz would have tried to score on Swisher, but by grabbing the ground ball, he stopped and he thought of it. So there's one away.
Wow, that's a great play. You see where he's playing up the middle. This ball hit hard. Robinson able to easily get that ball. I don't know, Michael. You know, that ball was hit pretty quick.
Let's take a look at the IOTV HD super shot on the play.
I know when you got 2 men on base and nobody outs as a pitcher, I mean, just to get an out there, you got to feel like you got a chance. Now go through what's going on right now. You got a man on third base.
There it is.
You're going to load the bases up. Now, how are you going to go about Varitek, who's, you know, offensively not the way he used to be? And are you thinking a strikeout, or are you just hoping for that ground ball double play?
It depends on how deep you go in the count. Right away, I'm looking for an infield pop-up. Now, set the double play up, force it any plate, and any base. I'm thinking ground ball. I'm out of the inning. One pitch, I can get 2 outs.
Michael, I gave him 2 options. Do you want the ground ball double play, or do you want the strikeout? And then you say you want a pop-up.
Right now, what will not score a run? Infield pop-up, obviously a ground ball. I'm out of the inning. And if I got to 2 strikes, you bet I want to strike out. So there's 3 options. Which one? I'll take the first pitch, fastball away, 6-4-3.
Okay.
Why are you guys fighting today?
You started it all on the air today.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So the bases are loaded with Red Sox, and here's Jason Varitek. There's a strike. Varitek has started to hit. He was 0 for 3 on Saturday when he got thrown out of the game by Tony Randazzo. That was the same day that Papelbon got thrown out and ended up getting suspended. But before going 0 for 3, he had an 8-game hitting streak. Varitek is one of those rare captains. Doesn't play every day, but he's the captain of the Red Sox, and he's a big leader of that team. The way they prepare, the way they go about things. He's in all of the catchers' meetings, pitchers' meetings, and he's helping Saltalamacchia a lot.
Here it is, Paul. 0-2 quickly. You got a hitter who's struggling. He does have the 1 home run, but 5 for 25.
Yeah, he got ahead of him early with the slider. Then he got a fastball by him. So I'm trying to figure out probably a slider down and in. Try to get a swinging strikeout. Yep.
Well, that's a swing and miss pitch. And the danger if you elevate up, you got the curveball down the dirt and then high fastball swing through, is that it's an easier pitch to hit to the outfield for a sac fly. Good play by Cervelli. They see a curveball gets around a little bit. Does look like a slider, especially velocity-wise, 82. AJ throws a couple different type of curveballs. One that goes straight down, and then that little down and into the lefty.
That one's chopped slowly toward Cano. There's one. On to first. Not in time as Ortiz scores. And it is 5-0 Red Sox.
You talk about luck last night. Do you believe in it or not as a pitcher? And you look at that. I mean, that's just putting the ball in play. Nothing major. Robbie did a good job to get that and even try to turn 2, but it's just a kind of an unlucky break for A.J. Burnett that the ball wasn't hit harder or at somebody where they could turn 2.
Little backhand flip to Jeter. Maybe had a little bit too much air under it. And Jeter fired hard to first base, but Varitek beat it out.
You know, Robbie is moving in on that ball and kind of throwing it back. Very tough play. A lot of times that little shovel does to second base. You've set your feet, and it's a very easy shovel. But that ball, he was still charging.
Pitch outside.
See, coming in where he's actually going away from second base and has to throw it back, which is not your usual play for a second baseman.
Pitch outside. Ellsbury singled in the first inning to open the game. Stole second, moved to third on a throwing error by Cervelli, and then scored on Adrian Gonzalez's ground ball. Foul back. The 2-1. Hammered to right field. That is going to be a base hit. 1 run scores. Varitek will move to third. It's a double for Ellsbury, and the Red Sox are pulling away now as they lead 6-0.
Well, these are the killers, Al. I don't know. The 2-out hits with men in scoring positions are really the ones that kind of just nail down and put you out of the game. And this ball right there, no movement, right down the middle. One good thing is Switch got a good care of him, got the ball in quick, got to save the run. Larry Rothschild's out there trying to figure out how to get him out of this inning and give him some more innings.
The Yankees had a streak of 7 straight games of allowing 3 runs or fewer entering last night, but now in back-to-back games the pitching has faltered. Freddie Garcia lasted an inning and 2/3 yesterday, and Tim Wakefield has 6 runs on his side so far today, and this is a day that the Yankees need some length out of A.J. Burnett, and it doesn't look as if they're going to get that much length. He's at 80 pitches right now. We're in the 4th inning. Pedroia has hit 2 fly balls to center. He's 0 for 2. Breaking ball is low. Lance Pendleton warming for the Yanks.
Now, if you look at A.J. Burnett, I don't think he's comfortable with any one pitch right now. His fastball's been hit. His slider, he's not throwing continual strikes with it. I don't think he has one pitch that he can really trust to get out of a jam right here.
And that one gets past Cervelli, but Varitek stays right there.
Well, you know, with A.J. Burnett, he has thrown more changeups. You have to have a pitch when you're not on, whether it's your velocity. See this ball just, I don't know, it skipped off of Cervelli's glove here. It looked like an easy ball to catch.
It's almost like he was expecting something else.
A little fastball away. So command is off, no question about it. He tried to go away on Ellsbury, missed in. His fastball's off, velocity's more than enough, and his curveball is not putting him in good counts to get called strike. I believe this about A.J. Called strikes, curveball early in the count helps create more doubt for the hitters. Has to. And if he's behind in the count as much as he's been, as you say, Paul, you know this, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 count, you got a guy that's erratic with his curve, called strikes, not swing and miss. You're looking for the fastball.
Right.
He's thrown three changeups.
The 2-1. Grounded in the hole, backhanded by Jeter. He has no play. Run scores, and it's 7-0 Sox. Adrian Gonzalez coming up to the plate. Now, Paul, let's check out the Home Depot's hitters scouting report on him.
Well, I mean, there's so many things you can say about him. Easy switch. I mean, a lot of players have an adjustment period going from the National League to the American League. I mean, not him. I mean, he's leading the league in RBIs. He's hitting .340. I mean, he's a total package. There's no doubt about it. He hits for power, average. The left field wall really has helped him in Boston. And the reason he's such a good hitter, and now this must have been frustrating as a pitcher, there's really no one hole that you can go out because he's very quiet. He can take the ball to the left. He can pull the ball out of the ballpark, and he will make you work. As you see, he takes a lot of pitches.
A beautiful swing. You're right about the no holes. There's hot zone is pretty much the entire strike zone. Does have a little down and away spot with the fastball.
Now, one of the reasons that the Yankees made their big play for A.J. Burnett, they love his stuff, but in 3 years with Toronto, against the Red Sox, he was 5-0 with a 2.56 ERA. Outstanding. That was in 8 career starts. But since joining the Yankees, coming into tonight 0-3 with an 8.33 ERA in 7 starts, and both of those numbers seem like they're going to go up. And he has not been able to beat the Red Sox. And he's going to face the Red Sox, and that was not a check swing, so he does get Adrian Gonzalez. He's going to face them about 6 times a year. Those are 6 series they play. But right now, the Yankees in bad shape as A.J. allows 3 more runs. Boston up. Tim Wakefield, 44 years, 310 days old. Since 52, only 4 pitchers as old as Wakefield started against the Yankees. Who are they? As Wakefield deals a ball to Alex Rodriguez.
To be a Negro brother in there, right?
You got Gaylord Perry, you got Negro, you got Nolan Ryan, and Jamie Moyer.
Wow.
Who's now a broadcaster but still wants to pitch. He says he's going to come back next year.
Is that right?
Yep. That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back. Crawford looking up. See ya. A long home run for Alex. And the Yankees are on the board at 7-1.
Got to that knuckleball. We're floating on the inner half. Alex's 11th home run of the year. Watch this slow. Ooh, had a nice little downward movement. Good swing. Couple bombs for Alex.
Alex's 8th home run against Wakefield. So 11 homers, as Al mentioned, for Alex, and 34 runs batted in as Cano swings and misses. So the Yankees on the board. Red Sox now lead 7-1.
little bit more rotation on that, which means less movement. You see that bat hit square on there. And, you know, knuckleball pitchers, they're going to give up their home runs. There's no doubt about it.
Well, that RBI gives Alex 1,865, and it breaks a tie with Mel Ott. So he's in 9th place all alone on the Major League Baseball all-time Ribby list. Cano grounds it to Gonzalez for the first out. Well, it's ice cream time again, and since 2009, Turkey Hill has been the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. The new one is Lady Liberty Premium Mint Ice Cream with chocolate cake crunchies and chocolate crunchy cookie swirl, and also Yankee-inspired flavors, Bronx Bomber Sundae. I think that's this one. Premium chocolate ice cream with chocolate cookie swirl and chocolate covered crunchies, and Pinstripe Brownie Blast premium vanilla ice cream with brownie batter swirl and brownie pieces.
Mint's good.
Chocolate's good too. Is this a chocolate? There's the mint. Which one did O'Neill have?
O'Neill got what was left when I came back in the booth. That's the one I had. I take one little step out of the booth, I come back, and you've already divvied up the ice cream. They're all good, though, so we don't have to fight over this.
Good day for it. Thank you to our friends at Turkey Hill.
There was that one fastball, two down for Wakefield.
I've always heard these stories, Paul. I wonder if it's just an old wives' tale. Facing a knuckleballer, can it get you into a slump?
You know, I never believe that, and it can't get you out of one either. Because, like I said, when you go home after facing a knuckleball pitcher, you really don't know how you're swinging the bat, because I mean, unless you have a few at bats after it. And that's another thing. It's amazing how if you go to the bullpen later and bring in a guy that throws 93 miles an hour, it's not like it messes you up for that at bat either, because that's what you're geared up for. So it's just one of those games you get through. Hopefully you have a good night offensively and you forget about it. It doesn't mess you up. I don't.
Nick Swisher swings and misses.
How about somebody swinging out of their shoes? Swinging real hard. You're saying your swing is the same. Doesn't help you. Doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, the thing is, against a knuckleball, if you do overswing, that's when you have problems. I mean, you want to wait and be as quick as you can at the end, because there's so much movement at the end. You start taking that long softball swing at it, you're right. That's when you're going to have trouble trying to hit it.
Brett Gardner takes pitch high. You watch the way Wakefield grips the ball, and this is an age-old question. You wonder how it ever became a knuckleball. The knuckles aren't involved. The fingernails are dug in. It's like a nail ball.
It's funny, too, because pitchers do, you know, take care of the, God forbid you get a blister, right? I mean, pitchers miss starts with blisters, but I mean, knuckleball guys, they really got to take care of their nails and stuff, because those two fingers, I mean, that's what throws that ball every single pitch.
They need longer fingernails and definitely strong fingernails. And watch here, what Michael's talking about. It's up on it. I guess because your knuckles are up, it does come off of your fingertips, and you're basically pushing the ball out. Very tough pitch to the row. To have the effectiveness of no rotation, which was the reason why the ball has the movement it does, based on the seams of the baseball, the Bernoulli theory.
Where'd he come from? Huh?
Who's this?
Hey, we got you too, Michael. Who's that fella?
It's about airplanes and currents and wind flow. Airflow. Airflow.
And this guy Bernoulli came up with
Bernoulli, right. That's what helps the description of lift, why airplanes fly. The reason why this knuckles is the shape of the ball, the seams, and not having rotation. The air underneath the baseball and top are different, and as a result of the lack of movement or spin,
you get crazy movement.
Ground ball to Adrian Gonzalez. And wow, Wakefield tumbles over Brett Gardner, but the out is made at first, and that will do it. So Gonzalez tossed it to the 44-year-old Wakefield. He tripped over Gardner, but it looks like he's okay. Ooh, and kicked Gardner in the head. We'll go to the fifth. And Kim, a little bit later on, we go to the fifth inning, and then you see the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar situated in center field. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. On the Kia scoreboard, Red Sox lead 7-1. Now, you mentioned blisters with pitchers, Paul. I'm not sure you're familiar with Al's travails. He started.
He would have made reference to it.
His career was almost derailed because of blisters. How did you finally beat that, Al?
Band-Aid when I warmed up, and new skin. You know, a little new skin stuff.
What was the stuff that?
There's a ground ball left side and through for a base hit for Euclid.
Gino had like a soap that it was like pickle brine.
Yeah, it was like a resin.
Alum. Yeah.
Alum. That was it.
Is that it?
Didn't work. Huh? No, because I remember Gino. I had it when I first got to the big leagues, and it was a problem. On a night like tonight with the moisture, my hands just sweat, and I would get on my middle finger. And once it ripped, I mean, I would get like half the size of a dime and just rip off.
So when you said new skin, I mean, that's an artificial substance. Wouldn't that be illegal?
Probably.
But you were okay with it.
It didn't help. But I'll tell you this.
He cheated.
No, let me say this.
He had new skin on his hand.
Let me say this. I actually got it from Jimmy Key. Jimmy Key may have even thrown with it in the game, which I did. It was uncomfortable.
Pitch to David Ortiz is upstairs.
Was a Band-Aid, but I used a Band-Aid when I warmed up because I throw 50 or 60 pitches before the game, and that was friction on your fingertip. By the time you got to 100 pitches, your finger felt the 100 plus whatever you threw in the bullpen. It was helpful.
Ortiz homered and walked so far today. There's a ground ball up the middle. Nunez turns it into a double play. He's the third baseman, but he's on second base side of the bag. You've got to score that 5-5-3 for a double play, and they finally get Ortiz. 2 outs here in the fifth, and it's time for the GE Capital partner play. Great partnerships are built on trust, and GE Capital, we prove that every day.
Here's a little double play ball there. You see the GE Capital Double play, partner play. Nunez, well, his partner here, Teixeira. Easy play for Nunez. Coming across the bag. Slow runner in Ortiz.
It's a base hit for anybody else in the league.
That's right.
You know, probably Teixeira. They put the switch or the shift on him too, but that ball was right over second base.
Line foul. Another big crowd here in the stadium, but they're very quiet. Not much to cheer about. Yankees finally got a run in the 4th inning off the bat of Alex Rodriguez, but second straight night trailing early. Soft ground ball to Cano. And they'll get Crawford, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left. At the end of 4 1/2, we're halfway through a 9-pitch inning for AJ. Wakefield leads 7-1. By Verizon Fios. Get the ultimate in entertainment on the Ultimate Network. Fios and Network ahead. All would pay to see this one. Josh Beckett against CC Sabathia. Their coverage on Yes will begin at 6. The game's going to be on My 9 starting at 7.
I don't see too many pitchers in this era, both with under 3 ERAs, starting pitchers that take the ball and throw a lot of innings. Josh Beckett, you know, as good as he's been the last couple of years, you know, he's kind of up and down, but this year's throwing the ball well. CC Sabathia is on a roll.
Well, last year, Josh with a little back trouble. Probably his worst year of his career, but a couple years ago, 17-6 in 09. CC, a horse, innings, leading the staff once again.
Must be cool in the dugout for CC. Hooded sweatshirt on, 100 degrees. Just think if it was 50, what he'd have on, huh?
I got a little air conditioner ball on there.
Kia scoreboard 7-1 Red Sox. Now we checked the internet, which is such a great resource if you know where to look, about the knuckleball, although it's thrown with the fingernail. Well, 1905, Eddie Seacott was throwing the pitch with his knuckles. That was called a knuckleball. But in the summer of 1906, Seacott played with a guy named Ed Summers, who threw a variation called the fingernail ball, but the name knuckleball stuck. So there we have it.
It's been around for a long time.
How about the fingernail ball? That just
it's over 100 years they've been throwing this thing.
Not too many of them.
And Nunez works a walk to start off the 5th inning. Yankees need base runners. And here is the way Wakefield grips the ball. And it's kind of like he almost throws it like a dart. Doesn't really whip his arm through. Kind of pushes the ball toward home plate.
I mentioned Phil Negro earlier. When he was with the Pirates, ended up going down and working with both Negros. To get back to perfecting his knuckleball. Long time ago. Wakefield came up with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That one gets past Varitek, as Nunez will move to second.
Oh, it's funny, you look at Cervelli as you'll watch this call the ball. Actually, might have been a strike, but when you whiff it as a catcher, probably not going to get the call. But that ball has a lot of the plate, and you see it just dive at the end. I was going to say about Cervelli, it's, you're used to seeing catchers, with their fingernails painted, giving signals, but when they're at the plate with no batting gloves, it looks a little weird with the fingernail polish on the bat. It just doesn't go together.
That was scored a pass ball, by the way, not a wild pitch.
Think of that.
Where Georgie does that too, doesn't he?
There's a line drive to center field, a base hit. Nunez rounds third. He'll score. It's an RBI single for Cervelli, who's 2 for 2, and the Red Sox lead is now 7-2.
Again, knuckleball just diving down. Cervelli's had a couple good at-bats against Wakefield. Good read. Score a run easily. Must be the polish. Put some pinstripes on this. Really get the uniform together.
Little French tip.
Here's Derek Jeter. Derek 0 for 2. Struck out in the 3rd inning, breaking a string of 58 straight plate appearances without a strikeout. And there's a strike. That one is driven out into left center field, giving chase is Ellsbury. It's over his head, and it goes to the wall. Cervelli will score. Jeter stops at second, and it's now 7-3 Red Sox. And Jeter 11 hits away from 3,000. So Derek picks up his 17th ribby and 2,989th hit. And next up on the list is the Hall of Famer Roberto Clemente with an even 3,000. Derek trying to become the 28th member of the 3,000 hit club, and he clubbed this one.
That ball was hit well. Ellsbury's playing kind of shallow, but Jeet gets good wood on it. Pitch kind of, it dropped, but it didn't have that severe drop. Drove it out in the left center field. Again, this is why it's so important in those innings, even when you're down 5-0, 6-0, to stay in the game, because sooner or later you're going to score some runs off Wakefield. He's not a guy that's going to throw a shutout. He's going to keep you in the game. But
Derek has 32 hits against Wakefield. That's the most hits that he's had against any pitcher he's faced. And before that double, he was 1 for his last 17 against Wakefield.
Well, we saw Daniel Bard come in. Very good stuff. Bullpen here. Bobby Jenks yesterday threw a couple pitches, hurt his back. He's not on the DL, but he's not eligible today. Get a couple more runs here, get some of the movement out there in the Boston bullpen.
Ground ball to first, gobbled up by Gonzalez as Jeter moves to third.
Granderson does a good job at pulling the ball, hits it hard. Gonzalez, we talked about, good first base, good first base. Jeter strolls over to third, and now these are the. This is how you know that you've talked to guys before. You just push them out of the way. In the old days, that might have dropped the glove and thrown blows at each other.
Mark Teixeira with the infield back can make it 7-4 with a ground ball. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Flied out to center and flied out to right. High fly ball. Shallow left. Jeter's tagging. Crawford makes the catch. Here comes Jeter. Here's the throw. Jeter's in there. Sac fly for Teixeira. Red Sox 7, Yankees 4.
That was kind of an iffy ball right there, but Jeter's got good speed. But I'll tell you what, Crawford played that ball about as what you don't want to do. Textbook. Caught it on his back foot, going away from the plate, had no momentum. And you see, not one of his strengths as a player, his throwing arm. But again, as an outfielder, you have to stay back and get a running start to the plate. That ball was caught on his back foot, where you just have no momentum to make a strong throw.
With that run, Jeter now has 1,720 runs, and that ties Willie Keeler for 22nd place on baseball's all-time run scored list. And suddenly the Yankees are right back in this game at 7-4, bottom of the 5th. Alex connected for his 11th home run last time up. And that one is scorched into center field, but Ellsbury is right there to make the play. But the Yankees had 3 runs on 2 hits and nobody left. We played 5. It's 7-4 Boston. We're trailing 7-1, but 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning at 7-4. 7-7-0 for the Red Sox, 4-5-2 for the Yankees. The 2 errors both on throws by Francisco Cervelli on stolen base attempts. A.J. Burnett now entrusted to keep it right here. 94 pitches as we go to the 6th inning. He faces the bottom of the order, starting with Marco Scutaro. There's a strike. AJ gave up 3 runs in the first, 1 in the second, then 3 more in the fourth. Now, Scudero came up the DL before last night's game. He started 2 games in a row, but Jed Lowry is actually hurt. Boone Logan warming for the Yankees. He has a pain in the back of his left shoulder. They did have him undergo an MRI today. But Terry Francona said that Jed Lowry is the shortstop. That one is chopped to third. Nunez guns down Scudero. So for now, though, as Lowry continues to have some pain, it's going to be Scudero in the starting lineup. Time for another look at tonight's Toyota Text Poll. The question was, do you think Derek Jeter will reach 3,000 hits on this homestand? He just picked up 2,989th hit with that double over the head of Ellsbury. You've been voting at 58,772, and resoundingly, you think yes, he will get his 3,000th hit on this homestand. And that got a piece of Cervelli.
Well, when they bring the knees in, that's not a good thing.
Well, Russell Martin's the Yankees' only other catcher, and he's got a bad back. It stiffened up on him yesterday. That's why Cervelli is in there. And Cervelli's just trying to catch his breath.
Girardi's got to go out for these little things and just think, I'm so glad I'm managing now. I'm not catching. And I think when we watch the replay here, it's self-explanatory.
That is not an easy position to play.
Thus the tools of ignorance.
And you've got a lot of protection, but you can't cover everything on your body. Cervelli looks like he's okay. And the 0-1. Soft ground ball to Cano. 2 outs.
Good quick inning right here from AJ. After the 4th inning, the 3 spot, try to settle down. It's not where you want to be, obviously, but as we've been talking here, you keep chipping away on Wakefield. Get into that Red Sox bullpen, certainly before Daniel Bard got a shot.
There's Jason Varitek. He's 0 for 2, but he does have an RBI and a run scored. Still throwing hard, 93 miles an hour. He had an easy 5th and trying to work an easy 6th here. He's at 5 pitches, 100 overall.
See that inning, 36 pitches, and it's just not the number. It's just the consecutive numbers. And when you have big innings like that, there's always runners on base and pressure pitches. And now you got to tell, it's just not the 36 pitches. It's just how they come about in an inning.
High stress pitches, no question about it. You know, I always looked at it this way: a comfortable inning for a pitcher who trains as much as major league pitchers go through with all of their routine is about 12 to 15 pitches. You get up to 18, certainly comfortable. You push it into 20, and in that case, in that one inning, 30 plus, it becomes taxing on the arm. Change your delivery. There's a cardio aspect to it. That's when you make mistakes, leave the ball up in the zone, give up the big hit, and the crooked numbers.
Hammered foul. loses Varitek. That's not what he wanted to do. A 2-out walk. Well, he was part of the Yankees battery during the 90s dynasty. You see him right there. Later tonight, Yankeeography celebrates the storied career of skipper Joe Girardi, from his years behind the plate catching a no-hitter in perfect game to his 4 rings as player and manager. Don't miss the premiere of Yankeeography Joe Girardi tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. Well, Joe has seen enough. AJ gives him 5 2/3 innings. Certainly not what the Yankees were hoping for with the compromised state of their bullpen with the injury to Jabba Chamberlain. But Boone Logan will come on here to get the final out of the 6th. By J&R Music and Computer World, and by Toyota, the official hybrid of the New York Yankees.
See that moonshine?
That was nice.
Pretty cool, but I mean, I'm looking at that and I'm like, some people dream about going there. Do you look at that and think, man, I'd like to go there?
That's not what I dream of.
Yeah, I don't get it. No. Now, Al, with you talk with your wind currents and stuff, you might be one of those guys that want to go there, right?
No, it's the Bernoulli principle.
Joe Girardi makes a call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T and the people at the Bernoulli Principle. So AJ's out after 5 2/3. And he turns it over to Boone Logan. Boone Logan becomes very, very, very important now with the injury to Jabba Chamberlain. He's going to get, or try to get big outs. He's going to be moved up in the pecking order. Want to know.
I guess you got to include Luis Ayala in that too, Michael. There's no doubt about it when you get guys down. Soriano going down, and what a nice job Robertson and Jabba did since then.
And that one's laced into center field, a base hit. And Ellsbury with 3 hits tonight. And really, that's Boone Logan's job. He's got to come in and get these lefties out.
Ellsbury's really come back. I mean, he's been hot as of late, scoring a lot of runs at the top of the order, and that's why they're very comfortable with keeping Carl Crawford in the 6th hole.
Left-handers hit .324 against him. Now he's got to flip that around.
You're better lefty specialist that you faced. Put away pitch, some sort of breaking ball, split change, looking off speed. I mean, I think of Boone Logan. He's got plenty of fastball, mid-90s. But to become so predictable, I mean, the good setup lefty guys were guys that had some put away electric breaking ball.
Curveball,
slider.
A guy that you would face out of the pen as a lefty, I can't think of a guy that was really good that did not have a great breaking ball or a sidearm delivery that would buckle you as a lefty. That's how you don't see it a lot. That's how you get lefties out.
Now you're getting bad counts. I get that. You got to get back into the count and just throw balls with the fastball. But if there's some way Boone Logan could just improve his slider, at times it's very good. You get a strike. I mean, most of the key lefties that I've ever been around, I mean, they have a put away some kind of power breaking ball or change. And in many instances, when you come up to that lefty-lefty matchup, I mean, they'll go right to it.
You know, if you're going to use your fastball, lefties are going to look out over the plate because you're so accustomed to covering that slider away. I almost think if you're going to use your fastball as a put away, you've got to pitch in early in the count and then go away late. You can't start away because that's what lefties are looking for.
Well, now he's got another tough lefty to try to get out. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Yankees just scored 3 runs. You don't want them to put a crooked number up here. And the majors RBI leader, Adrian Gonzalez, comes to the plate.
So with that said, right here, okay, great hitter, lefty-lefty matchup, key for Boone Logan, along with Gonzalez and certainly Ortiz as this season plays out. If you're going to be the lefty, well, fastball in here. I'm saying your put away pitch, which should be a slider. I mean, he throws it, slider down the way. Unless the hitter knows you throw a boatload of him, he's sitting on. He's sitting on a fastball right there. There it is. Backed up, threw it at his body.
And you know, that's not the best slider that he has, but if you can get that as strike one every time because the hitter's looking fastball, you don't have to throw your best slider, but you got to know late in the count, if I've seen that slider, you better throw a good one.
Great numbers for Gonzalez with the bases loaded in his career. There's a fastball inside, count 1-1. Logan has faced Gonzalez twice in his career. Gonzalez 1 for 2. Varitek's at third, Ellsbury's at second, and Pedroia is at first. So first and second, good speed for the Red Sox. Count 2-1.
All right, so slider backs up, strike one, comes inside. The danger here at Yankee Stadium, no question about it. Gonzalez does like the ball away, can drive the ball to left center field. Great hitter. If you're coming in, you better miss in off the plate. Throws it for a ball, then fastball away. Put that slider down the way. There you go.
Ooh, didn't get the call. Boy, is that a big call. The way the entire at-bat changes from 2-2 to 3-1.
Completely, Michael. Let's see if this pitch, I know Cervelli catches it down, but I don't know. That may have crossed the knees. This is going to get plate coverage here. Oh, yeah.
And it got on the front knee. It was right there. 3-1. And he walked it. Forces in a run. And the Red Sox lead 8-4 and brings out Larry Rothschild. Another RBI for Gonzalez. And again, if you joined us late, Jabba Chamberlain was put on the DL with a flexor tendon problem. And everybody moves up. Robertson's going to be pitching the 8th inning now. So they've got to find somebody to pitch the 6th and the 7th.
We got Louis Ayala probably, Mike.
But Boone Logan has to get big outs.
No question about it.
I mean, you can't come in and give up a hit to a lefty, then walk a lefty. That's your job to get lefties. You're the lone lefty on the bullpen.
And then he got the 2 call-ups, Marquez and Sonny.
Now very difficult hitter with the bases loaded, men on base, and that's Kevin Youkilis. Kevin has 14 ribbies in his last 20 games as Lance Pendleton, who was up earlier, is throwing. There's a strike.
Lose your stuff at all out of the bullpen when you're up a couple times? Up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
The next day or that night?
Both. That's a good question. You know, and relievers it's a whole different world. These guys, the way they train. But I always thought, I mean, your first is to get hot, so there's no doubt about it. Your first time you get up, you're getting it to where it's game speed. But if you sit down and you have to get up again, as Pendleton has, it's a matter of just getting close. And for a reliever, lifetime reliever, it could be anywhere from 3 or 4 pitches to 6, 7 pitches, and you're ready. You don't leave it all out there, but that up and down sitting, getting up is not good.
Strike 3. Euclid down looking. First time since June 26th that Logan has walked 2 batters. 1 more run for the Red Sox. They lead 8-4 to go to the bottom of the 6th. Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Well, the Red Sox got a run back in the top of the 6th, so now it's 8-4, 4-run deficit for the Yankees. Cano will start it off against Wakefield. And there's a strike. We talk about knuckleballers, and they've been around since the early 1900s. In 1945, the Washington Senators had an all knuckleball rotation. That one's fouled away. Dutch Leonard, Johnny Niggling, Mickey Itsy Bitsy Hafner, and Roger Wolf. And the catcher was Rick Farrell, and he retired after the season.
We talked about the knuckleball and how one day I didn't think it could do a slump. But you go in for a whole series, a 3 or 4 day series of seeing this garbage. You might have a different opinion.
Changing your mind on it.
And that clipped Cano on the way by, so a base runner for the Yankees. Well, we always tell the story, half joking, but it's true, and it turned out great for us. John Flaherty was in Red Sox camp to try to be the one to learn how to catch Tim Wakefield, and caught him once in a spring training game, and he decided to become a broadcaster. He just retired. Alfredo Aceves getting ready in the Red Sox bullpen.
I was talking to Tony Pena before the game, and talking about how you catch a knuckleballer. And Tony, I think it was 5-time All-Star. And I said, "Do you ever have to catch one?" He said, "No, but in the All-Star game." I think he said 1983. It was in Montreal. And Tommy Lasorda was the manager, and they're setting up all the players and where they're going to go. He wasn't a starter, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, you're gonna catch the 5th, and it's Phil Niekro." And he said, "No, I'm
national
not."
TV.
Yeah, it was his first All-Star game, and he said, "No, I've never done it. I can't. I'm not going to get the first time." So he yells around. I guess a few of the other catchers were. He said, "Well, who wants to catch a knuckleball?" John Stearns with the Mets.
Really?
He says, "I'll do it." But I mean, that was it. I mean, you mentioned about John Flaherty. I mean, it's not easy. I know just playing catch with guys that throw it.
High fly ball, left center. Ellsbury makes the catch for the first out. It was Bob Uecker who said the best way to catch a knuckleball is just pick it up when it stops rolling. in all likelihood, Wakefield's not going to stay in the Red Sox rotation. They'll try to make a deal or have somebody come up from the minor leagues, but a great stopgap measure for them. Guy out of the bullpen, he can take the ball when you want him to take the ball, gives you innings. Never going to be a guy who's going to throw shutouts for the most part, but he will take the ball. And he's in there because of the injury to Daisuke Matsuzaka. He actually was not supposed to start today. This was supposed to be Clay Buchholz's start. But Buchholz, his back is kind of acting up, so they moved him to Friday. So he didn't have to pitch against the Yankees. And again, you can maneuver Wakefield a lot easier than you could other pitchers. And this weekend, the Red Sox will go to Toronto to beat the Blue Jays.
It's funny because arguably and probably very easily said, you know, these are the two best teams in the American League, and this is where they'll be 1 and 2 all year. But these are not the teams right now that you'll probably see in the playoffs, because there'll be some tinkering to try to match up against each other. There'll be some things added, you know, left-hander here, left-handed there, a guy off the bench. So that's what the elite teams do. They get to themselves to this point, so then they'll make their decision. Brian Cashman's done a great job over the years around the All-Star break figuring what they need to get over the hump to beat the Boston Red Sox and to get into the World Series and win.
There's a strike to Gardner.
We talked about Jabba Chamberlain early in the game. I mean, if that's a 2-week thing, fine. But if it's longer than that, you know, that's going to have to be addressed. Sorry, or you just, right. I mean, there's so many injuries out there in the bullpen right now. You see Jabba, and you know, that hasn't been one of the biggest strengths in the Boston pen. The middle relief, obviously Baird and Papelbon struggled as of late, but he's got a great track record.
You know, with no knowledge of what the Yankees are going to do in situations like this, sometimes you call to the minor leagues and you get your best pitchers that throw really hard and say, give us an inning at a time. I mean, even if it's, I'm throwing a name out there, a kid like Dylan Betances, who lit up the radar gun in spring training, throws 95, 96 miles an hour. That's what they did with Jabba, and he was a revelation when he came up that year. And out of necessity, they might have to do something like that, because I don't know if the trade market's open at this point where you can get somebody good. Right, obviously it's open, but nobody thinks they're out of it at this point, so they're not giving people away.
You know what, Michael, and you said it, and I know, Paul, where you're going. There's no question about it. Teams that are in it, they look to improve. They find their warts, and they go out and add. But you look at baseball, there are 16 teams over 500 as of going into tonight. And there's 5 other teams that are either a game or 2 under 500. I mean, this, you talk about parity in baseball. We're 60-some-odd games, 60 games into the season.
Nice at bat there for Gardner as he works a walk. First and second with 1 out. Well, tomorrow the Yankees wrap up their series with the Red Sox, and yes is there with extended coverage. It's all going to start at 6 o'clock with Audi batting practice today, and then the pregame, then after the final out on My 9. We'll switch right back here for Yankees Extra Innings, presented by Tri-State Ford, only on Yes. So Terry Francona comes out to the mound. He's going to take the glove and the ball, because they're going to give Jason Varitek a real catcher's mitt to catch Alfredo Aceves. So Tim Wakefield Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops are called Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. And once again, all of us here in the booth and everybody at Yes sends out our best wishes to Jorge Posada III. Underwent surgery today. Jorge's not with the team. He's with his wife, Laura. Their son in the recovery room, and we send our best wishes to them. That is one tough kid who's gone through a lot of surgeries since he was born. Alfredo Aceves deals a strike to Eduardo Nunez.
Done a nice job for the Red Sox. Yankee fans remember Aceves and pitching any kind of role, start, long relief, setup, doesn't matter.
Wasn't what number was he with the Yankees? He wasn't 91.
Same. Yeah.
91.
He's a Dennis Rodman fan.
Five and a third for Wakefield. 5 hits, 4 runs, and 2 runners on base are his responsibility. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Count 1-2. Nunez 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Right in on the hands.
Oh, fouled off his helmet.
Ooh. You ever seen that?
No.
There was somebody in the game a couple days ago that did the same thing and got a fracture in his nose on a foul ball. And I was reading the article. I'm trying to figure out how that happened, and then you see this. See the movement on that ball at the end. I mean, it just came right in on his handle. Foul the ball off.
It's pretty hard to do, huh?
Yeah.
Foul it off and hit you in the head. Wolf. A sinking, running fastball in on his hands. Ball is a ball inside. Think about the days with no helmets.
Yeah. Remember the little rabbit ears you used to have in Little League? Little elastic bands and this ear covers you used to run the bases with?
Not in New York.
Come on now.
I don't remember that. I've never heard of that.
Forget everybody. You know, when you come to Cincy, I'm going to bring one.
Al, is it just me? Did you ever see that in
No.
Jersey?
No.
No. Okay.
I hope I got an old Little League pitcher with one of those on because I'll bring him to the ballpark.
You said bunny ears?
They looked like they were just ear protectors, and they were held on. I mean, they came around. They didn't cover you. It wasn't a full helmet.
Line drive, base hit to left field. That's going to load the bases. So Nunez fouls one up the bill of his cap and then lines one to left field.
It's wide recovery and it's bad, isn't it? Off a pitch off your face, and then the ball out over the plate. You drive it to left field.
You were talking about that uppercut swing earlier in the game off of Wakefield. That's a nice level swing. Good approach. Nice line drive.
That's going to bring up Cervelli, who is 2 for 2. Double, RBI single, and a run scored. Cervelli is great in these situations. 8 for 15 with the bases loaded in his career. That's .533.
he's at his best with men in scoring position when he just tries to hit that ground ball up the middle, keep the rally going, don't try to do too much. Tim Wakefield hoping we get out of this. Maybe I could salvage a little win here.
And some earnings.
Sunday, May 8th in Texas. He went yard with the bases loaded. Almost a dead center. It's his first and only grand slam. He also hits well, as Paul said, with runners in scoring position, a .313 batting average. Doesn't try to do too much. And he does it again. Line drive, base hit to left field. 1 run scores. The bases remain loaded. And the Yankees have closed it within 8-5. 3 for 3 for Cervelli.
Kind of your basic Boston Red Sox, New York Yankee game. It's a slugfest. Cervelli stays on top of that ball. Ball boring in on it, but he stays on top. Gets a bad head to it. Drives it in the hole.
Three for 3. Nice at bats. Keep the line moving. They're trying to do a whole lot here.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach, lecturing Aceves.
Bit of a scouting report right here. Obviously, Kurt Young wanting to settle down Aceves. Come in, give up a couple hard line drive base hits. It's a big at bat right here. Wow,
that's how hot it is.
Well, that wasn't dunked in a bucket either. Wow.
Look at Jim Bibby, the Pirates. Used to sweat right there.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hot up here. Yeah.
Here's Derek Jeter. Picked up a double his last time up. Bases loaded, 1 out. 8-5 Red Sox. And the pitch is low, 1-0. There's a strike.
Well, they're talking about blisters early on. I mean, all of that sweat dripping. And obviously, his hands and arms have to be sweating as well. You see it dripping off his left elbow. Tough to get a grip. Now he grabs the wet air and wipes it off.
That one gets past Varitek. And Gardner stayed put. Nunez was more than halfway to third base and then had to scurry back to the bag.
You see Gardner, sometimes as a base runner, you don't get a good read on where the ball goes. And then sometimes you think it might have hit the umpire, or all of a sudden, you know, you get caught. You got to make that decision up.
What's the grip here? I'm saying about it being able to have a grip. I think the ball is cutting and slicing. I don't know if he has a grip here.
That looks like he's caught in a rainstorm right now. Yankees trying to rain hits down on the Red Sox. The 2-1. 3-1. Curtis Granderson on deck. Yankees trying to climb back in this one. They trailed 7-1 at one point. In fact, they trailed 7-0 after 3.5. Big crowd on its feet. There's a strike. Wow, he jacked that one up to 94 miles an hour.
Right down the middle. Jeet's going to try to make him throw a couple pitches, but the difference in it, and the old thing is, when you're a hitter with men in scoring position, let that pitcher know that he's in trouble and you're not. You see Derek Jeter not even sweating to say this is dripping wet out there. This is textbook right here.
Grounded to third. Let's see if they turn two. There's one, and it's a double play. Boy, did Pedroia hang in there at second base with Cervelli bearing down, and Jeter wraps into a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. But the Yankees get a run. They leave two. The captain bangs into the double play, and it's Jeter at the plate. Brett Gardner's at third base. Aceves unleashes this wild pitch. Derek is waving home Gardner. Then he sees he's not coming. You can see the disappointment. Now Gardner says to Robbie Thompson, I thought it hit Jeter. Well, what does it matter if it hit Jeter? You still got to be coming home. If it hit Jeter, you'd score anyway.
Well, you know what, and I heard your explanation of it, but here, we're not talking about Posada. We're talking about the fastest guy, arguably, on the team. Ball going back to the backstop. For him to not instinctively just go, I guess you just freeze.
Yeah, and
even if it did hit Jeter,
quick reaction, and then you decide I'm not going. But again, that became a big play. There's no doubt about it, because that run scores. You take him out of the double play situation because the man goes to second base. So, when you're down 3 runs in a game, you've got to take the ones that they're going to get you.
Cadillac scoreboard, it's 8-5. Boone Logan against Ortiz. And if you want to play it out, again, we don't want to fall into the fallacy of the predetermined outcome. But if that run scores and the other guys move up, then the ground ball by Jeter, not bringing the infield in with runners on second, then it's 8-7.
Yep.
So, I mean, that was a big play for him not coming home. The 0-1. 0-2.
Now, there's that ball right there that's going to tie up lefties. And again, if you want to pitch as a lefty, and you want your out pitch to be a fastball, this is the pitch you're going to have to throw early in the count. And you see Ortiz can't handle that ball right there. From a lefty, it's tough to handle that ball inside, but it's important that you throw it for a strike and not miss out on the play.
Which is the book on David Ortiz. They just missed. A.J. Burnett missed, didn't get it inside enough. It leaked out over. We saw Noesi last night do the same thing after he knocked his feet back. In all the years, Michael, how many times do you think the Yankees have hit David Ortiz? 0.
Really? 0?
Yes.
Wow.
It was surprising. I mean, even just by accident, you back up, you spin a break, not whatever. I'm not advocating hitting David Ortiz, but that surprised me, the amount of history.
And how he's damaged them over the years. 2-2. Grounded into the teeth of the shift from short right field. Cano makes the play, 1 down.
Well, you said it. I mean, you try to get guys out with an out pitch, but you see this ball and you see the shift here, but this ball ends up right over the middle of the plate. Ortiz gets a good swing at it. I mean, this ball needs to be down and away, and you see it ends up right over the middle of the plate.
Well, that was with a couple fastballs in, right? I mean, you've got to respect the fact that he was able to pound the inside corner, and then that slider, that's the effect you get of that fastball slider combination, especially as you've been describing, Paul, fastball in.
Here's Crawford. Now, Boone Logan is the Yankees' only left-hander in the bullpen, but when you look at this Red Sox lineup, you realize how important it is to have lefties in the bullpen. Ellsbury, Gonzalez, Ortiz, Crawford, so 4 of the 6 hitters, and then J.D. Drew. I mean, you could really neutralize this lineup if you've got an effective lefty, but the Yankees have 1 lefty in the bullpen and only 1 lefty in the rotation.
And the bench, only 1 right-hander, with Lowry, Saltalamacchia, and Drew Sutton, utility infielder, all switch hitters.
I mean, you look at the way the Yankees and the Red Sox stack up, they're essentially tied for first place. As Logan does a nice job with these 2 lefties. But if the Red Sox hold on here, they would have won 7 of the 8 games that they played. And you know, one of the reasons the Yankees don't have the lefties to match up with them. That's not the main reason, but the Yankees could be as good a team as the Red Sox, but when they match up head to head, they don't have the people to get the Red Sox lineup out.
Michael, there's no question about it that the Yankees will need a consistent left-hander, 2 consistent left-handers, because of what you're describing, that there are scenarios that Joe Girardi's going to have to make that key tough left-handed out in the 6th inning. It's not always going to be 7th, 8th inning leading up to Mariano.
There's so many more. I mean, you get into September, you're fighting for the pennant, and you're not guaranteed the wild card, which could very well happen in this thing. There's so many more matchups. I mean, it's still early in the year where you'll let guys get through innings. You get to must-win games. You're going to have matchups from the 6th inning on, unless Sabathia or one of your aces is out on the mound.
Scudo with a fly ball to center, and that's going to do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Boone Logan. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Red Sox holding on to an 8-5 lead over the Yankees, but we're going to stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
inning here at the stadium. A good job by Boone Logan in the top of the 7th inning on the Cadillac Hero, leading 5-7-2. And you're going to get Granderson, Teixeira, and A-Rod against Alfredo Aceves.
He didn't change his hat.
You think all the sweat could be a product that he's bald, and there's no hair to soak it up?
Something's a product of it, because that hat, that doesn't lie.
Here's Granderson. Now 1-0. We mentioned yesterday one of the weaknesses on this Red Sox team is they don't have a great bullpen. Their bullpen is a work in progress. So Bobby Jenks yesterday had to leave the game with a bad back. That one is hammered foul. Bard doesn't have great numbers against the Yankees lifetime. Did the job yesterday. And Gabelbon also did the job. There's the only lefty in the bullpen, Tommy Hottovy, and Matt Albers, the righty.
Well, I mentioned Daniel Bard. He was
last night was
absolutely
impressive.
filthy. Unbelievable slider, fastball, touching 100.
Did that get Granderson or the bat? He's got the bat. He was trying to sell it for a moment, but Bob Davidson wasn't buying it.
Either. It was a ball.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss.
It's a tough pitch right there, because that ball actually looked like a strike. I mean, sometimes you go for that swing and the miss down and into lefties, that slider, but that ball right there had enough movement where it was in the strike zone. And just dove. Good pitch.
You know, the combination there too, Paul, with the slider cutter, the previous pitch that almost hit him, and then to take off. The less velocity on that curveball. That's a good pitch.
Very quietly, Curtis Granderson has gotten himself into a little bit of a slump. He's 0 for 4 tonight. He's 9 for his last 45. And a line drive from Teixeira right at Gonzalez for the second out.
I feel like I'm doing games up there with one of my kids. You know, I look over here. The man's got licorice last night. He's got Skittles tonight.
And this was a smash.
Absolute
Teixeira.
bullet. If you're gonna bring candy, bring some good candy. Right?
What do you like?
Please make everybody know you're talking about lighter and not K. I don't have Skittles.
You had a
up there.
handful of them too.
Yeah, but it's share size.
Yeah, it's like going to the movies up there.
Here's Alex Rodriguez.
Some M&Ms or something, all right?
Come on.
Alex got the Yankees on the board when they were down 7-0 with a home run. That was in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3.
I'll tell you what, Mercedes, those last couple breaking balls, those are good pitches.
The 0-1. Fouled away.
What was funny to me is you saw how much he was struggling last inning with everything. I mean, bases loaded, base hits, everything, and all of a sudden he comes out this inning, strikeout. Obviously, Teixeira hit the ball on the nose, but he's got A-Rod 0-2. How, you know, a veteran pitcher that's used to doing things can make an adjustment, just getting out of an inning, getting back out there. Manager can trust him to still get some outs, even when he's dripping wet. Huh?
And the 0-2. Want to remind everybody, after the post-game tonight, the premiere of Joe Girardi's Yankeeography. Get a look at his career, his life. That should be good. So that's following the post-game right here on Yes. The 1-2 outside. And also tomorrow's game, which is a beauty, Sabathia against Beckett. It's going to be on My 9. So it starts at 7, but we have a pregame. Batting practice show on Yes starts at 6. Pregame at 6:30. Then Yankee extra innings after the game. Final out on My 9. You turn it right back to Yes. We'll have everything covered. And that'll be Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Kimberly Jones.
plate on that one out. Good swing by Alex. A little behind. Aceves has had such good movement on his curveball and his fastball. That one was straight, had a lot of flake.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss.
96.
Where did that come from? Well, the dripping cap has no effect whatsoever adversely on Aceves. We'll take this to the 8th. 8-5 Sox. Territory, subscribe to MLB.tv today to see Yankees games live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Now, Boone Logan is in there to pitch the 8th inning. The Hyundai scoreboard, it's 8-5. Now, the only thing that I can imagine that Joe Girardi is thinking by keeping him in here, I know you have J.D. Drew, so you're trying to push him for one more batter. But in all likelihood, you're losing him for tomorrow. And I guess Girardi's thinking, I'm not going to need him tomorrow. I've got C.C. Sabathia in there, who's probably going to give me 8 innings.
How about trying to get him right and comfortable against all these lefties?
Yeah, but you still...
Well, he's already up to 27 pitches.
Yeah.
I understand. 8-5, he's doing a nice job. He's got Ellsbury. You said Veritek on deck and another lefty in Ellsbury. That's when you got to fight yourself. You have to know that as a pitcher. You got your manager having confidence, knowing these lefties in this lineup. You had a good previous inning. First batter, 3-0. I know it happens. Certainly you did it, but you fight yourself. That's a mental toughness thing. Your role is to get lefties out.
Well, the most pitches that he's thrown this season was 20, so he's already 9 over that. His longest appearance this year, 1.1 innings, and he's matched that. And there's strike 2.
Bob Davidson's keeping his bat at going.
It's a strike.
For 4'2".
Watch here. Look at this. Right up the hollow of the knee. That's a perfect pitch.
Knee.
J.D. Drew, I mean, you could speak to this much better than me, Paul. It almost looks like he's waving the bat rather than swinging.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last night. It's just like he has no balance when he takes his swing. I think, I don't know if he's got a sore knee or whatever, but there's nothing that's stable in it, and he's losing all of his power because usually guys have trouble with their hands or kind of lunging at the upper half. It looks like the bottom half is what's causing him problems. He just no balance whatsoever.
Popped up. Cervelli runs out of room.
Again, he almost gets jammed here. He's kind of behind it, which forces him to stay back. But a lot of those pitches, you'll see him just kind of off balance and waving the bat. Nothing going at the baseball. Hey, Magadan over there. Good hitting coach. Great hitter in his day. Like we spent last night, he might have been the best college hitter of all time. He had unbelievable numbers, and he was a good hitter in the major leagues.
Was it Alabama?
Where'd he go?
3-2. Swing and a miss.
Good comeback right there.
Came back from 3-0 to strike out Drew. I think he's upset about the 3-1 pitch as he walks off.
There's no doubt about it, and because I've been in this situation, you feel like you almost have lost concentration because you thought you walked twice. You foul off a couple pitches, and you feel like the umpire didn't allow what the game was supposed to give you, and that was ball 4.
Well, Boone Logan is done. The last time he threw this many pitches was last June 26 when he tossed 38. So 33 for him. He leaves 1 out here in the 8th inning, nobody on, and Joe Girardi will go to the bullpen. With us for the Chevy Player of the Game, text your vote to 58772. You can vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are David Ortiz, Jacoby Ellsbury, Francisco Cervelli, or Jason Varitek. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. So Lance Pendleton, who's been up 3 times today, finally gets to come in. Done a nice job. 9 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Pitch is high.
You mentioned the 3 times, Michael. That's some work down there. You get a guy you were talking about, the wear, and that's generally the rule of thumb for most managers. 2 times up. By the 3rd time, if I'm getting you up a 3rd time, you're getting in the game. If not, you're done. You count there's enough pitches down there getting up and down.
1-1 to Varitek.
Well, right there, you know what you were saying a couple times with Bob Davidson's low strike. There's a couple pitches in this at bat that borderline belt high, a little above the belt. Bob Davidson's showing that he's calling the low strike as opposed to the high strike.
And he walks Varitek. Good night for Ellsbury. 2 singles, RBI double, stolen base, run scored. There's a strike. Going to be a brave new world for the Yankee bullpen. You see where Ellsbury is on the hits list in the American League. Don't know if Aceves will come out and pitch the 8th. Looks like he might. Popped up. Jeter backpedals for the second out. Yankees have to find a new formula out there with Jabba Chamberlain on the DL. A flexor tendon problem, and he's on the 15-day DL. That was announced before the game, and they've shut him down completely from 10 to 14 days, where they're not going to allow him to throw the ball. So that certainly means he's not coming off at the end of the DL stint.
Oh no, that's a month. You figure if you're not going to pick up a ball for a couple weeks, and then you're going to do flat ground and then work to the mound, and that's it. That's a month.
Now, if you remember what the Yankee bullpen was supposed to be a strength for this team. Feliciano never got the pitch for them. Soriano is on the DL trying to get an elbow problem straightened out. Now Jabba. So one of the top 3 or 3 of the top 4 pitchers you have are out. And Damaso Marte had shoulder surgery last year. He's unlikely to come back this year. If he does, it's going to be sometime in September. There's Damaso. And as for losing Jabba, he had not allowed a run since May 15th. 9 2/3 scoreless innings. That's up and in on Pedroia. And the crowd with a somewhat derisive cheer, because the story of the pregame was about moving Ortiz back, and no one's been moved back. This is the first one that even came close.
Trios coming out of his shoes, up by 3. After getting that little buzzsaw up underneath his neck, he's swinging as hard as he could. This Pedroia does not get cheated ever. Swings as hard as anybody. I don't care how big he is.
And he walks against Pendleton. That moves Varitek into scoring position. Remember Yankeeography, Joe Girardi coming up after the post-game show. And here's a dangerous Adrian Gonzalez. You certainly don't want to lose Pedroia. Pedroia's in a good spot in the lineup, behind Ellsbury, who has 23 stolen bases, and in front of Adrian Gonzalez, who has 53 runs batted in.
Well, as good, Michael, as good as that spot has been, Pedroia has not gotten to where he's usually feeling, going 246 coming into tonight's game. Ellsbury absolutely has helped this lineup, as well as Gonzalez taking off. Crawford's feeling better. David Ortiz having a good year.
There's a strike going too.
If you're the Boston Red Sox, you got to feel pretty good about your lineup. I mean, you've got a couple guys that are Youkilis and Crawford that haven't hit their stride yet. They're going to add more runs to this lineup, and lately, they just look very comfortable with scoring runs. Poppy's pretty much done it all year. Gonzalez has been unbelievable, but Carl Crawford numbers are way below his track record, and Kevin Youkilis also. And those guys are good hitters, and they're going to add a lot more to this offense. Talked to Carl Crawford a little bit before the game, and he was just saying how nice it was to have the intensity of the Boston, just Fenway Park from Tampa Bay. And, that ballpark down there, it's no secret, unless it's a playoff series or something, there's not a lot of intensity in that dome down in Tropicana Field. It's just not, your place you look forward to going in and playing, especially as a visiting player.
Although he seemed like he thrived under that kind of relaxed atmosphere. So far he hasn't thrived.
There is 2-2. There is AstroTurf there. He does run well, so it kind of helps his game. But he's a solid player. He can do a lot of things on the field. Nothing worse than coming over to an organization with that label huge contract and trying to prove why you're worth it in the first couple months before you just settle down and relax and become one of the guys out there playing.
Runners will go. And the 3-2. Strike 3. Gonzalez down looking. Strikes out for the third time tonight. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left. Go to the bottom of the 8th. 8-5 Boston. Jack Curry are back in the studio. They'll break down the game and take a look around the rest of the league. Plus, Joe Girardi's press conference and Kim Jones with the reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up later on the postgame only on Yes, and after the postgame, Yankeeography. Joe Girardi, the premier, so keep it right here on Yes. Alfredo Aceves entering his third inning of work as he will face Robinson Cano.
Is that
8-5.
Is that a new hat, Michael? It was dripping. It's got to be. How do you go from dripping to that? That's great.
Maybe change that. see if the drip builds up. Hyundai scoreboard 8-5 Boston, bottom of the 8th inning.
See right there why Robbie is not swinging the bat like he was early in the year. It's because he's going out of the zone. I mean, when he swings, it strikes. He's arguably the best hitter in the American League. But this ball right here, ends up out of the strike zone. Tough pitch to hit. Sometimes being a great hitter can even work against you when you get frustrated because you feel like you can hit everything.
Strike 3.
Wow.
Cano has some words for Bob Davidson.
I'll tell you what, that's Al, don't even open your mouth if you think this is a strike.
What? It's high enough. Is it away?
Yeah. Maybe in the other batter's box.
Closer than you're saying, Paul.
It's a ball. I don't care how close it was.
How about the one down the middle? Is that a ball?
No. Yeah.
Yankee fans are very familiar with the ability of Alfredo Aceves to give you length out of the bullpen. In 2009 with the team, he had 8 relief appearances of 3 or more innings. That's a nice weapon to have in the bullpen. And there was some thought about having him start instead of Wakefield, but they think he's probably better suited to the bullpen and these sorts of end-of-game relief appearances than Wakefield. You know, a knuckleballer, if he doesn't have it, you're risking too much to bring him in out of the pen in a close game. The Yankees really lost Aceves last year with back issues. Never surgically repaired, and there's his career resume. With the Yankees in 3 seasons, he was 14-1 in 59 games, 3.21 ERA. But the bottom line is he didn't get the back surgically repaired. He tried to rehab it. And when he was a free agent, the Yankees didn't think he was going to be able to hold up. And we'll see if he does.
This is what you got used to last year. I mean, he's a guy that you can bring in as a manager and get through more than 1 inning. I mean, what is the 3rd inning of work?
2 outs.
You know, you don't think much of it, but we were just showing the statistics and certainly what he was able to do for the Yankees. But it is a valuable pitcher on your staff that can have such versatile roles. A lot of guys are pigeonholed into 1 inning, lefty righty matchup. You have a guy here that is able to do so much. As you said,
that's what happened to me, Mike. I got pigeonholed for the 3-game series. I'm breaking out of my mold here this time.
I'm worried about you, Paul.
You worried about me before I got here.
No. I mean, this is 10 games in a row you do. I mean, to me, this is bigger than what Ripken did.
Yeah.
I'm a little fearful of losing him after Game 5. I mean, he'll be here. I'm just not sure. There's a ground ball to Youkilis. Can he get Gardner? No, he does not. And Gonzalez does not like the call. That was some play by Gonzalez crossing over into foul territory to make the play, and he's having some words with Hunter Wendelstedt as Gardner reaches on the infield hit.
This is going to be an interesting replay. Obviously, we're going to get a good look at it. This makes a good play. Obviously, that ball slapped from the left. He comes at you pretty quick.
He got blocked out.
Yeah.
Gardner blocked out Hunter Wendelstedt.
Is that foot down? That's the question. Yeah, he's out.
He dragged it across the bag.
I don't know why Wendelstedt was looking at Gardner. What clue did Gardner have?
Safe as said Porquet. Why? I mean, well, why is he safe? He's out.
That scored a base hit. And here is Eduardo Nunez.
Was a two or three hopper, the third baseman, beat it out. I don't know, the ball was off the line.
I mean, anytime with his speed.
And Gardner goes for the second, not in time.
Speed to steal a base also, but anytime he hits the ball to the left side of the infield where the third baseman has to move towards the line or the shortstop has to move to the hole, he's got a chance to beat it out, and he has an opportunity to steal a base.
Hit it pretty close. The 1-0 to Nunez. Line drive, left field, and it's going to be caught by Crawford. Nunez hit the ball hard, but Crawford ran it down. No run to hit, and one man left. We take this to the 9th inning. Red Sox up by 3. Over drive of the game.
Well, after all the hoopla yesterday, it didn't take him long. First inning, Big Papi comes up with his 15th home run of the year. 2-run homer. Put Boston ahead. So far, they've been ahead.
Second home run in as many nights. Lance Pendleton still on the mound for the Yankees. And he deals to Youkilis. And there's a strike. You watch Youkilis from the center field camera, and the top of the bat is facing the pitcher as he starts his approach. I would think that's a lot of moving parts, Paul.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I mean, his hand, the top hand's not on the bat, but I mean, before the ball's delivered, obviously he gets in a hitting area. He's been very successful doing it. It just puts him on a position that he tries to stay on top of the baseball, and that at bat it didn't work, but Kevin Youkilis is a very good hitter.
You wouldn't teach that to an 11-year-old.
No, that'd be kind of hard to emulate. I mean, and that's the big thing about when you tell a little kid, you know, a guy how to hit, you know, you can't hit like other people. You have to be comfortable, and that's not the way you would start out your little leaguers.
So 3 strikeouts of Youkilis today. He's 1 for 4 with a walk and a run scored. Here's David Ortiz. Low fastball, count 1-0. Ortiz with that home run in the first inning, an 8-game hitting streak, his 15th home run of the year. Kind of called his shot to our very own Kim Jones, talking with him before the game, so I'm going to hit another home run today. And he did in the first inning. And in explaining away the flip of the bat yesterday, he said, I'm a home run hitter. And you see Papelbon getting ready, and That's what I do. I flip my bat. Yesterday he did. Today against A.J. Burnett he did not. The 2-0 popped up.
See, he flipped his bat there. Flew out to left field and he flipped his bat. He's a home run hitter. It's just the way it happens.
Fly out hitter too.
See, good pitch to hit, and he just didn't get to it. He flipped his bat.
That was not a flip. That was an O'Neill.
Oh, I was going to say I flipped my bat a few times too.
Here's Crawford. Now Papelbon warming up the pitch the 9th, but remember he threw 27 pitches yesterday. We'll see if that changes his effectiveness. And if you're looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, then why not? You're allowed. It's Cervelli, Jeter, and Granderson, 9, 1, and 2. And if anybody gets on, which they need for a 3-run rally, then we got the big hitters coming up. Teixeira and A-Rod. High fly ball, deep right. Swisher back, track wall, see ya. 9-5 Red Sox. And that is the first run that Lance Pendleton has ever given up in the big leagues.
Pendleton getting the 2 quick outs. Crawford taking advantage of the right field here. This looked like a fastball sinker that was supposed to be down and away. With the perfect sweet spot for most every left-hander I know, down and in. Crawford ended up getting that ball where he likes it.
Scudero punches one to right field. It's a base hit. It'll go to the corner. Played out there by Swisher, and Scudero picks himself up a 2-run double. Or 2-out double, I'm sorry. Here's J.D. Drew. 0 for 2, a sac fly. Intentionally walked as well. And a strike. Drilled deep to right field. Swisher turns, looks, see ya. Home run into the Yankee bullpen, a 2-run shot. And now it's 11-5 Boston.
We talked about J.D. Drew's kind of troubles at the plate this year, but get a straight fastball up in the zone over the middle of the plate. Good things happen. This ball actually, I think, hit the top of the wall. Yeah, right off the top of the fence.
And the pitch to Baratek. 1-0. Eleven runs by the Red Sox. That matches the most the Yankees have allowed this year in a game.
I tell you, Pendleton has hit the middle of the plate a lot. You see Varitek even frustrated with himself, missed a pitch. Throw a straight fastball, you better pinpoint control.
The 3-1 popped up. Cano will make the play for the final out of the top of the ninth. But the Red Sox pull away. They turn an 8-5 game first into a 9-5 game and then an 11-5 game. 2 home runs by the Red Sox. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Yankees down. By the Red Sox, they sit down Papelbon. It's not a save situation, and they'll let Alfredo Aceves try to close this out. It has not been a good night for the Yankees at all. It started with another 3-run first inning for the Red Sox, and they never looked back. A.J. Burnett simply didn't have it, didn't get out of the 6th inning. Boone Logan struggled when he first came. Pendleton struggled in the 9th inning. Cervelli, one of the bright spots for the Yankees, 3 for 3, but he has made 2 errors. Yankees have been such a good team this year in terms of their pitching, but they've allowed 52 runs in 70 innings to the Red Sox this year. And if this score holds up, well, then they would have lost to the Red Sox 7 of 8 so far.
Thing is 5 in a row here, right? I mean, you've got to hold your home turf, obviously. I mean, there's many games to be played and bigger games than this probably later in the season, but you don't want to get in the habit of losing to the team that you're going to be fighting for the division.
Red Sox will be 5-0 at the stadium this year. The only other time that they were 4-0 at either stadium was back in 1986. So it's got to be earlier than that. So I guess they've never done that before. Take the first 5 games of the season at Yankee Stadium, either Yankee Stadium.
Well, the Yankees have the right guy on the mound tomorrow. G.C. Sabathia, certainly a horse in every sense of the word. Gives a lot of innings.
Unfortunately for Yankee fans, though, the Red Sox have the right guy, too. And that's Josh Beckett. He's been great this year. But Sabathia is the Yankee horse, Al. You're right.
Should be a good matchup, no doubt about it, Michael. But, you know, when you said those numbers there, that the disparity amount of runs given up, a couple things. You just say, A, let's look at the scatter report. Are these mistakes? Are we going about it, the attacking these hitters in the right manner? Or are they pitches that just aren't made? I get it. It's hard to make a quality pitch every single time. I mean, that's the goal. And when you have a certain team, and certainly the Red Sox-Yankees series is as exciting as any, you've given up 52 runs in 70 innings. You got to look at it a little closer.
Well, you look at the 6th inning, you're going to say that this was the turning point of the game. There was a wild pitch from Aceves to Jeter, and for some reason Gardner didn't score. The bases remained loaded, And then Jeter banged into a 5-4-3 double play, and the whole thing kind of turned. You could feel the momentum shifting toward the Yankees before that double play, but then after that inning, Aceves has stymied them, and here's Jeter again. Runner goes, he'll take second. Defensive indifference.
No, but you say, you look at a point in the game, I mean, that definitely will loom as a critical inning and end up being 7-4 as opposed to 7-5. Base runners would have moved up. That ball that Derek hit would have made it 7-6. I know it's all ifs and buts.
Derek has picked up a hit tonight, so he is 11 away from 3,000. He had 2 yesterday, 1 so far tonight. An opportunity to pull within 10. He said he's not going to get worried or think about it until he's within 5. He said because if you come into a game other than 5 away, then you know you're not going to get that many hits in a game. So 5, he would think about it. He's only going to get 1 hit tonight as Pedroia throws him out and Cervelli moves to third.
Al, does this seem weird to you? And I've been watching Aceves for the last couple innings. I mean, he started his sinkers 88, 89, but his 4-seamers reached 96 tonight. I mean, that's a big discrepancy in a 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball.
You know what? And my guess is that a lot of guys, pitchers with the 2-seamer, they almost see it as their changeup, even though it's not a circle change grip. But you're right. I mean, you have a difference of 4 or 5 miles an hour in your fastball. And there's that little, that's got to be a changeup.
That's 84 there.
I mean, if that's his 2-seam fastball and he's been able to throw it up in the mid-90s, that's just a get-me-over BP fastball with some movement away from the lefty.
That's a good curveball.
Well, let's see that 84.
Looks like a changeup, right?
Keep going.
Al now producing on the booth. Swing and a miss. And Granderson's struggles continue. Oh, what a nice play by Gonzalez with a second out.
All right, here it is. Across the 2-seam. Now that's across the 4-seam. Looks like
it's like he's dug his hand in a little bit too much, but it's not a true circle change because look, he doesn't release it across his body.
Circle change. There it is, right on the thumb. You see his thumb. Yep. So he's throwing a changeup anywhere from 84 to 88.
Here's Teixeira, who is 0 for 3 with a sac fly. Drove in his 42nd run. He has now 20 RBIs in his last 18 games.
I just got a little note here, Michael. His average fastball is 91.5. So, I mean, either he's geeked up for the Yankee series with 96, or he goes from 88 to 96. I mean, that's a lot as a hitter to look for. Wow. Yeah, you're looking at me, Al, and I'm looking at you. I mean, where was that pitch?
And that's Paul O'Neill saying that, Michael K.
Two and 1 on Teixeira. Now 2-2. Red Sox lead 11-5, and a win by the Red Sox would move them into sole possession of first place in the American League East.
Every once in a while, an umpire will, tell a catcher, I've talked to her, hey, I missed it, and you don't argue anymore. But do they ever, tell the pitcher, hey, I missed it? I mean, they can't scream it out to you.
But in between innings.
Oh, okay.
There's been
let you know.
Yep.
Line drive. That'll be another RBI for Mark Teixeira. Cervelli will score, and now it's 11-6 Red Sox.
Middle of the plate, driving that ball. Let's see if there's any little hobble in his giddy up. No. It's good.
Well, he heals quickly, I'll tell you that. When he went down yesterday, had to be helped off the field. You never thought he'd be playing today. In fact, Mark has only missed 11 games since he joined the Yankees. Mark takes off for second as Alex swings and misses. Another defensive indifference.
Does that bug you as a pitcher when you just let guys run to second? Because now a hit gives you an RBI, and it's just, why just let them run to second? I know you don't want the fielders moving to give up, but does that bother you when you're pitching?
If we gave up a hit, it would.
Yeah.
Well, also, too, why penalize a runner for not getting a stolen base just because the defense decides not to cover you?
I always wondered if somebody came back, you know, that used to be a baseball fan 30, 40 years ago and looked at the scorecard now, DE. What the heck is DE?
DI.
All over the DI. I'm sorry, DI. I didn't win the spelling bee either, all right?
That one is grounded slowly to short. Scudero fires to first and gets A-Rod, and that will do it as the Yankees lose this game 11-6. In the ninth inning, they score 1 run, 1 hit, no error, and 1 man left. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. So a 2-run home run by David Ortiz. Red Sox with 3 runs in the first inning, and they never looked back. Then 3 runs in the ninth gave them some cushion, so they win the second game of this 3-game set. 11-6. We'll be coming back in just a moment. Stay right where you are.